100 harsh truths about life no one wants to hear.
Life doesn't play fair. Have you ever looked around and felt like things just aren't fair? Like someone else gets an easy break, while you're pushing against a giant invisible wall every single day? That feeling is a whisper of a deep, quiet truth about life. It doesn't play fair. It doesn't promise us an equal start, or even an equal journey. Some people are born into bright sunshine, with a clear path ahead. Others begin in shadows, with obstacles already piled high in their way. And this isn't about who is good or bad, or who deserves what. It's just how the world often works. Think about the ancient thinkers, like the Stoics in Greece. They spent their lives pondering these very ideas, trying to understand how to live well in a world that wasn't always kind or predictable. They understood that the universe isn't set up to be fair in the way we might wish for. It doesn't hand out rewards based only on effort, or punishments based on what we think is wrong. Here's the thing. They taught that real strength comes from accepting what you cannot change, and then putting all your energy into what you can control, your own thoughts, your actions, your choices. Imagine two seeds planted at the exact same moment. One lands in rich, soft soil by a flowing stream, bathed in gentle sunlight. The other gets dropped on cracked pavement in a busy city, struggling for every drop of water, battling wind and exhaust fumes. Both are seeds. Both are doing their very best to grow into something beautiful. But their lives, their struggles, and their chances of reaching full potential are vastly, undeniably different. That's life's uneven playing field, right there in front of us. It's a heavy thought, isn't it? To know that the world isn't always fair. But understanding this isn't about giving up or becoming bitter. It's about finding a different kind of peace and a deeper strength. It means learning to stop comparing your own path to someone else's, because their journey is not your journey. It means finding the quiet courage from within, no matter the conditions outside. Your worth isn't measured by how easy or hard your path is, but by the calm resilience you show as you walk it. And in that quiet resilience, there's a unique beauty. You won't always get what you want. Have you ever wanted something so badly you could almost taste it? Maybe a spot on the team, or that one perfect grade, or even just for a rainy day to clear up for your outdoor plans? Here's the thing. Life doesn't always hand us what we wish for. Sometimes, despite all our effort, all our dreaming, things just don't go our way. It's a truth that can feel a bit sharp, like a tiny pebble in your shoe. Wise thinkers long ago understood this. Human desires are endless, they knew, but the world has its own rules. They spoke about acceptance, not giving up, but understanding what you can and cannot control. The Stoics,
Ancient philosophers taught peace comes from accepting what you cannot change. They believe focusing on what's in your power makes you less troubled. It's not about sadness, but wisdom about how the world works. Imagine a tree growing. It wants sunlight, water, and rich soil. But maybe it's planted in rocky ground, or a drought comes. The tree doesn't stop growing, but it adapts. Its roots might dig deeper, or branches might grow differently, reaching for light. It doesn't get perfect conditions, but it finds a way. Or you study hard for a test, aiming for an A, but you get a B+. It stings, right? But that B+ can teach you something new about how you learn, or what to focus on next time. It's not what you wanted, but it's still a lesson. So when you don't get what you longed for, it's not a failure. Life just unfolds in its own way. It's a chance to pause, breathe, and see new paths. It teaches you resilience, how to bend without breaking. And it reminds you that sometimes what you don't get leads to something else, unexpected. It might be exactly what you needed, even if you couldn't see it then. It's a quiet strength, knowing you can keep going even when the path shifts. Friends change, and that hurts. Have you ever felt a friendship shifting, like sand slipping through your fingers? It's a quiet feeling when someone who once felt like your other half starts moving in a new direction. Their interests change, or yours do. Maybe they find new people, or you do. And that's a real sadness. It's a quiet ache when someone you counted on, someone you shared so much with, becomes different or distant. Think about it. For thousands of years, people have seen this pattern. An ancient Greek thinker named Heraclitus once said, "The only constant is change." He meant everything is always moving, always becoming something new. Even the river you step into isn't the same river a second later. People are like that too. We grow, we learn, we shift. And our friendships, because they involve us, shift with us. It's just a natural part of life. Imagine you and a friend are walking on a path together. For a long time, your paths are perfectly aligned. You like the same games, the same music, the same jokes. But then, one of you sees a different path branching off. Maybe one that leads to a new sport or a different kind of club. And the other person wants to keep going straight. It doesn't mean anyone is wrong or bad. It just means your paths for a while are no longer perfectly parallel. You can still wave from afar, still remember the good times on the shared path. But the daily walking together might pause. Here's the thing about that feeling. It hurts, yes, but it also teaches us something important. Every person who walks with us, even for a short time, leaves something good behind. A memory, a laugh, a lesson. And even when paths diverge, the connection isn't totally lost. So, hold those good memories close. Understand that growth is a natural part of being human, for everyone. And sometimes, letting go of what was is part of growing. It's okay to feel sad about it. That just means the friendship mattered. Your parents aren't perfect. Do you ever pause and truly think about your parents, beyond just being mom or dad? We often see them as solid, knowing all answers, doing everything perfectly. But here's a quiet truth. They aren't. Your parents are just like you. Yes, they are grown, but they're still figuring things out day by day. They carry their own memories, past hurts, hopes, and fears. Every choice they make, every rule they set, comes from trying. But trying doesn't mean perfect. They can stumble. They can misunderstand. They can get it wrong. Think about how people have grown up for thousands of years. Even ancient thinkers, like those in Greece, knew everyone, no matter how old, makes mistakes. They called it the human condition. This shared journey where we learn by doing, sometimes by failing. No one gets a parent manual. They just step into it, often trying to do better than their own parents, or simply trying to get by. It's a bit like learning to draw a complicated picture. You have good intentions, a clear vision, but your hand might slip. Lines might be wobbly or colors might not mix right. The drawing isn't bad because you don't care, it's just hard. Skill comes with practice and many tries. Your parents are on their own learning curve, drawing their lives and yours as best they can, sometimes with shaky hands. Understanding this can feel strange at first, maybe a little sad, but really it's a gentle truth. It means they are brave for trying. We can offer them the same patience and understanding we hope to receive. It means they are beautifully, deeply human, just like us, navigating this messy, wonderful journey. Hard work doesn't always pay off fast. Have you ever poured your whole self into something, studying for a test, practicing a sport, learning a new skill, only for it to feel like nothing changed? You put in hours, sweat, and maybe even tears, expecting to see a big difference right away. But often, the truth is, hard work doesn't always pay off fast. This can feel unfair, even crushing. We live in a world that often celebrates instant results, quick wins. But here's the thing, life isn't always like that. It's not a vending machine where you put in a coin and instantly get a snack. Sometimes, the biggest rewards take the longest to appear. For ages, people have known that patience is key. Think about a tiny seed you plant in the ground. You water it with care. You make sure it gets just the right amount of sunlight. You know deep down it needs to grow into something amazing, but you can't see anything happening above the dirt for days, sometimes surface, unseen by anyone. All that hard work, the watering, the warmth, the quiet waiting, is making something truly special happen. The roots are pushing deeper, finding strength. The tiny sprout is gathering energy, preparing to burst through, slowly, quietly. That's a lot like your effort sometimes. It's incredibly hard to keep going when you don't see the immediate fruit of your labor. You might feel discouraged. You might even wonder if your effort is being wasted, if you should just quit. But just like that patient seed, your consistent hard work is building something powerful. It's creating strength, sharpening skills, weaving connections that you can't quite see or measure yet. So when the path feels long and the rewards seem far off, remember the quiet work. Remember that some of the most important growth happens when no one is watching. In those moments when the world seems still, it doesn't mean it's not happening. It just means it's taking its own time, unfolding in its own perfect way. And understanding this truth can make all the difference. Failing is part of the game. Have you ever tried something, given it your best, and still, it just didn't work out? Maybe you studied hard for a test and got a low score, or tried out for a team and didn't make it. In those moments, it can feel like the end. But here's the thing. Failing isn't an accident. It's a natural, necessary part of every journey. Imagine a tiny seed trying to grow into a tall tree. It pushes through hard soil, faces storms, and might even get knocked down. Does the seed give up? No. It keeps trying, learning how to bend, how to gather sunlight, how to grow stronger roots. Wise people throughout history have understood mistakes aren't just errors. They are tough lessons. Think about how babies learn to walk. They stumble, fall, and bump their heads a lot. But each fall teaches them something. How to balance, where to put their feet, how their muscles work. They don't see falling as a final defeat. They just see it as part of learning to move. They stand up again, a little wobbly, but always a bit wiser about gravity and their own bodies. This truth applies to everything. Scientists spend years on experiments that fail hundreds of times before one discovery happens. Every failed attempt tells them what doesn't work, guiding them closer to what does. It's not about being perfect, but about being persistent. So, when things don't go your way, try to see it differently. It's not a sign you're not good enough. It's a moment of growth. It's a quiet whisper from life, saying, "What did you learn from that path? Which way will you try next?" Embrace these moments. They are tough teachers that make you stronger, wiser, and ready for whatever comes next. They are simply part of the game of living. Tough choices are coming. Do you ever think about the paths we walk in life? The ones that stretch out before us, sometimes clear, sometimes hazy? And then suddenly there's a fork. A big decision sits right there, blocking the way forward. Here's the thing. Life isn't always about picking between a good thing and a bad thing. Often the toughest choices are about picking between two good things, or sometimes between two things that are just hard. No one truly wants to hear this, but avoiding these choices won't make them disappear. They will come. Long ago, even ancient thinkers knew this deep truth. They didn't call it tough choices, perhaps, but they wondered about destiny and what shapes a person. They spoke of how our lives are not just random events. They said that what we choose, the paths we commit to, slowly carve out who we become. It's like a sculptor, patiently shaping a block of stone. Each cut, each decision, takes away what isn't needed, revealing the true form underneath. Think about a young tree, for example. When its roots first reach into the soil, they have to decide. Do they grow deep down, anchoring the tree firmly against storms? Or do they spread wide, drawing in water and nutrients from a broader area? It's a choice. It can't put all its energy into both perfectly at the exact same moment. One path will be favored, even if the other is also important. And that decision, made quietly beneath the ground, determines how strong and resilient that tree will become in the years ahead. And that's why it matters. These moments of tough choice aren't just obstacles. They are quiet, powerful teachers. They force you to look inside, to really understand what you value most. So when those forks in the road appear, take a deep breath. Don't fear them. Instead, see them as chances. Chances to shape your own story, piece by quiet piece. For in making these hard decisions, you're not just moving forward, you're truly becoming yourself. People will let you down. Have you ever felt that quiet ache when someone you truly counted on didn't come through? It's a tough truth to swallow. But one day, likely many days, someone you deeply care about will let you down. It won't always be on purpose, or because they don't care, but simply because they are human, just like you. This isn't about being mean or holding grudges forever. It's about understanding a basic part of how people work. Humans are flawed. We forget things. We make mistakes. And sometimes, we just can't be there for others the way they need us to be. This isn't a new problem. People have felt this way for a very long time. Think about stories from way back, even ancient times. Wise thinkers like the Roman philosopher Seneca talked about how we shouldn't place all our happiness or peace on what other people do. They understood that humans are complex, full of their own fears, their own changing plans, and their own limits. This idea that relying completely on others can sometimes lead to hurt isn't new. People have been learning it for thousands of years. Maybe you've counted on a friend to be there for you, or to keep a secret, or to show up when they promised for an event. And then, for whatever reason, maybe something unexpected came up for them, or they simply forgot, and they don't. You feel that sting of disappointment, like a deflating balloon. It hurts. It really does. But here's the thing. It happens to everyone. It's not a sign that you are less worthy, or that they are bad people. It's just a simple truth of life. This truth isn't meant to make you stop trusting everyone. Instead, it's a quiet invitation to build a deep, steady strength inside yourself. It helps you understand that while connection with others is important, your own peace and happiness shouldn't depend entirely on what someone else does or doesn't do. When someone lets you down, and it will happen, remember that it's part of the human journey we all share. It reminds us that everyone, including ourselves, is just doing their best, even if their best isn't always what we hoped for. And learning this can actually make you kinder, more understanding, and strangely even stronger for whatever comes next. Your happiness is up to you. Have you ever wondered where true happiness comes from? Is it something you find, like a lost toy, or something that just happens to you? Here's a quiet truth. Your happiness deep down is mostly up to you. It's not about ignoring hard things or pretending everything is perfect. But here's the thing. How you react to life, how you choose to see the world, that's where your power truly lies. Long ago, thinkers and wise people like those in ancient Greece understood this. They knew that you might not control what happens to you, a sudden rainstorm, a canceled plan, but you could always control your mind's response. They taught that inner peace came from accepting what you couldn't change and focusing on what you could. It's like planting a garden in your mind. You choose what seeds to water. Imagine this, you're walking to school and it suddenly starts to pour. You could get soaking wet, feel totally miserable, and let it ruin your day. Or you could think, well, this is unexpected. Maybe I can splash in puddles or at least appreciate the sound of the rain. The rain is the same, right? But your choice about how to experience it changes everything. One choice leads to a bad mood. The other? Maybe a small adventure or a moment of calm acceptance. So, here's what it comes down to. Happiness isn't just a feeling that strikes you by chance. It's a quiet strength you build, a gentle muscle you train. It's about finding a calm center inside yourself, even when the world feels chaotic. It means knowing that the biggest storms are often inside our own heads, and we have the quiet power to let them pass. This might work for you. Just try to be a bit more curious about your own thoughts. See where that leads. Time flies. Seriously. Have you ever noticed how some days feel super long, but then weeks, months, even years just zoom by? It's like time has its own secret speed dial. One moment, you're looking forward to summer vacation, and the next, it's already over. You're left wondering, wait, what just happened? Where did it all go? This feeling of time speeding up or slowing down isn't just your imagination. People have wondered about this for thousands of years. Ancient Greek thinkers talked about time not just as a clock ticking, but as something we experience. They knew it felt different depending on what you were doing. Time wasn't just a straight line. It could bend and stretch in our minds. This is a harsh truth, because we often don't realize how fast it's truly moving until it's gone. Here's the thing. When you're lost in something you love, like playing your favorite video game or laughing with friends, an hour can feel like 10 minutes. But if you're waiting for class to end, those 10 minutes can feel like an hour, right? Think about the first day of school in September compared to the last day in June. The whole year seems to shrink when you look back. It's like a song that plays fast when you're dancing, but slow when you're listening to quiet parts. Our brains pay different attention to time based on our feelings and focus. The harsh truth isn't just that time goes fast. We can't get any of it back once it's passed. Every second is a unique moment that happens, and then it's gone forever. This isn't meant to make you scared, but to make you think. It means the time you have right now, with your family, with your friends, learning new things, even just staring out the window, is incredibly precious. It's a quiet reminder to notice these moments, to really be present in them, because they won't last forever. So maybe it's less about time flying and more about how we choose to live within the moments while it does. Not everyone will like you. Have you ever felt that quiet ache, the one that whispers, "Why don't they like me?" It's a feeling almost everyone knows. We want to be accepted, to be seen as good or kind. It feels like if we just try hard enough, everyone will get us. But here's the quiet, often tough truth. Not everyone will like you, and that's perfectly okay. This isn't a new idea. Humans have faced this for thousands of years. Even ancient thinkers like the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius understood that we can only control our own actions. He believed we should focus on being good, honest, and kind, no matter what others thought. He knew that trying to make everyone like you is a battle you can't win. Other people's feelings are not yours to control. Their opinions are like whispers on the wind. You can hear them, but you can't make them change direction. Think about something simple, like your favorite color. You might absolutely love blue, seeing calm and peace in it. It's your favorite, the best in the world to you. But your own friend might think blue is boring, preferring bright yellow. Does their opinion make your favorite color less beautiful to you? No. Does it make you a worse person for liking it? Of course not. It just means you both have different tastes, different ways of seeing the world. People work the same way. We all have unique stories, different backgrounds, and our own ways of seeing the world. What one person finds interesting or funny, another might not get at all. Sometimes it has nothing to do with you. It's about their own mood, their past, or what they need in that moment. It's often just the way two different personalities might or might not click, like puzzle pieces that don't quite fit. So, here's what I found. Your worth isn't tied to how many people approve of you. It's not a popularity contest where the most likes win. True strength comes from knowing who you are, being kind, and acting with integrity. It means standing tall in your own truth, even if some people choose not to walk beside you. And that's why it matters so much. It frees you to be truly yourself, without needing everyone else's permission to shine. Number 9. Some dreams don't come true. Have you ever wanted something so much it felt like your whole future depended on it? We grow up hearing that if we work hard, we can achieve anything, be anyone, and that's a beautiful idea, full of hope. But here's the thing. Not every dream, even the ones we hold dearest in our hearts, actually comes true. This isn't about giving up. It's about understanding a quiet, sometimes painful part of life. For a very long time, people have thought about this. Ancient thinkers, watching the sun rise and set, understood that some things were just beyond their control. They knew that even if you wished with all your heart for a specific outcome, like rain during a long dry spell, sometimes the clouds just stayed away. There are limits in the world, things that simply are, no matter how much we desire them to be different. It's a natural boundary, like how a tiny seed can only grow into the plant it was meant to be, never something entirely different. Think about something simple, like wanting to be the best at a certain video game. You might practice for hours, watch videos, learn every trick. You dream of winning every match, of being known as the top player. But then, you meet someone else who is just naturally faster, or who has more time to practice, or who sees the game in a way you hadn't. Your specific dream of being the undefeated champion might not come true. It's like wanting to build a towering treehouse in your backyard, but the trees aren't strong enough, or there isn't enough space. The dream for that specific kind of treehouse has to shift. It's a tough truth to hold, especially when you're young and full of endless hope. But understanding this isn't about becoming sad or giving up on everything. It's about learning a deep kind of patience and acceptance. It teaches us to grieve what won't be, and then to quietly look for new paths, new possibilities we hadn't even considered. Maybe you find joy in teaching others the game, or you build a different, just as wonderful fort on the ground. The quiet wisdom is that when one path closes, it truly does create space for a different kind of beauty to grow, often one you never even imagined. No shortcuts to success. Have you ever wished for a magic button that would just make things happen, like learning to play guitar perfectly overnight or becoming a top athlete without all the training? It's a nice thought, isn't it? But here's the thing. Real success, the kind that truly means something and lasts, doesn't work that way. It's not a sudden jump. It's a slow climb, a patient building, stone by stone. Think about the great thinkers from long ago, like the ancient Greeks or Roman builders. They understood that anything truly strong, anything meant to last through time, had to be built carefully. They didn't rush. They laid one brick at a time, making sure each was solid. They knew that a shortcut might get you somewhere fast, but the result would be shaky, easily broken. This idea has echoed through history. True strength comes from steady effort. Imagine you want to build a very tall, strong tower. You could try to rush it, maybe skip some steps, use less mortar, or not wait for each layer to dry. It might go up fast. But what happens when the first big storm hits? It would likely crumble. Now, think about someone who takes their time. They carefully mix the mortar, lay each brick with precision, and let it set properly. They might not build as fast, but their tower, when finished, will stand firm against the strongest winds. It's like learning a new language. You can't just wish to speak French. You learn new words every day, you practice speaking, you make mistakes, and slowly, over time, the language starts to feel natural. That steady effort makes it stick. So when we face a challenge, and we wish for an easy way out, maybe we can remember the tower. The path that feels longer, the one filled with small, steady steps, is often the one that builds something truly worthwhile inside us. It's not just about reaching the top, it's about becoming stronger and wiser with every careful step we take on the way up. You'll mess up. A lot. Do you ever wish you could just do everything right, all the time? Like no slips, no embarrassing moments, no wrong answers on a test? We all want to be perfect, or at least look like we are. But here's the truth. Life doesn't work that way. We are all going to mess up, a lot. It's not a flaw. It's actually a natural part of being human. People have thought about this for a long time. Ancient thinkers, like some old Greek philosophers, knew humans weren't perfect. They talked about human error, not as something to be ashamed of, but just part of life. The idea wasn't to never make a mistake. Instead, it was to learn. The Stoics, for example, believed that challenges, even mistakes, help us grow stronger deep inside. They saw every stumble as a chance to practice resilience. Think about it like this. Imagine you're learning a new skill, maybe playing guitar or trying a skateboard trick or baking cookies for the first time. You're going to hit wrong notes. Your hands will trip on strings. The board will wobble, you'll probably fall, the cookies might burn. It's messy. But each wrong note, each clumsy try, each burnt cookie, teaches you something. It helps your brain figure out what to do next. It's like your brain tests paths, and the wrong ones just show it which way not to go. Each misstep lights up new understanding. So when you trip up or say the wrong thing or fail, remember this. It's not the end. It's part of the process. It's a quiet whisper that guides you, showing you where to adjust. Every mistake isn't a dead end. It's a new path. It carves out a deeper understanding within you, like water shaping stone. And that's how we truly grow. It's how we become stronger, kinder, and wiser people. One imperfect step at a time. Being popular isn't everything. Have you ever wondered why we try so hard to be liked by everyone? It feels good when people notice you, when your name comes up in conversations. We see someone popular and think they must be so happy. They have it all figured out. But here's the thing. Chasing popularity often means chasing something empty. It's like trying to fill a bucket with holes in it. No matter how much water you pour in, it never stays full. For a long time, people have thought about what makes a good life. Even really old thinkers, hundreds and thousands of years ago, talked about the difference between having many friends and having true friends. They knew that being liked by everyone is not the same as being deeply cared for by a few. Popularity can be fleeting. It's often based on looks, or what you own, or how loud you are. It can change as fast as trends change. It's not built on who you really are deep down. Think about a tree. Some trees spread their branches really wide, reaching out everywhere, trying to catch every bit of sun. They might look big and impressive, But then there are trees that grow deep roots. They might not look as spread out from the top, but their roots go down, 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 holding them steady. When a big storm comes, which tree do you think stands stronger? The one with deep roots, right? Being popular is a bit like those wide, shallow branches. It can look cool from the outside. But real connection, true friendship, that's like deep roots. Those connections give you strength when things get tough. They keep you grounded. So here's what I found. Happiness isn't a popularity contest. It's not about how many people know your name. It's about knowing yourself and letting a few good people really know you too. It's about building a strong, steady foundation inside you, and with those who truly care. That's where real strength and peace live, not in the loud cheers of a crowd. Growing up is just hard. Do you ever feel like the world expects more from you each day? Like a comfortable old sweater suddenly feels too small, too scratchy. That's a bit like growing up. It's not just about getting taller or learning new things. Here's the thing. Growing up means saying goodbye to old ways. It means seeing the world with clearer, sometimes harder eyes. For a long time, humans have wrestled with this feeling. Ancient thinkers, even thousands of years ago, talked about the stages of life. They knew that each new stage brings both gifts and challenges. It's a bit like a butterfly leaving its chrysalis. Before, it was a caterpillar, safe and simple. But to become what it's meant to be, it has to break free. That process isn't easy, even if the end result is beautiful wings. Think about a river. When it's a small stream, it trickles happily, staying in its gentle banks. But as it flows, it gathers more water, more power. It faces rocks, carves new paths, sometimes even overflowing its banks. It has to adapt. It becomes deeper, stronger, but also less predictable. That's a lot like us. We gain strength, knowledge, and freedom, but also face bigger currents and more responsibility. Growing up means understanding choices have real weight. It means learning not every story has a happy ending, and sometimes even good people do things that hurt. This can feel heavy, like a backpack filled with bricks. But here's what I found. It's a shared journey. Every adult you know has walked this path, stumbled, and found their way through. It's okay for it to feel hard. It's okay to feel lost sometimes. That's just part of becoming the person you're meant to be, slowly, year by year. It's not a race. It's a slow unfolding. Things break, and that's okay. Have you ever noticed how things often break? Not just a dropped phone screen, but friendships, plans, even ideas about who you are. We often feel a pang of sadness or frustration when something we cared about cracks or falls apart. We think of breaking as a bad thing. But here's the truth. Brokenness is a natural part of life. It's how things change, how they become new, and sometimes how they become stronger. Think about an old Japanese art called kintsugi. The word means golden joinery. When a beautiful ceramic pot or bowl broke, they didn't throw it away. Instead, artists would mend the cracks using a special glue, a lacquer, mixed with shining gold powder. The idea was not to hide the damage. The golden lines became part of the object's history, making it unique and often more beautiful than it was before. It celebrated its journey. Part. Or a friendship changes in ways you didn't expect, leaving you feeling hurt. Those moments can feel like breaks, like cracks forming. You might feel sad, and that's normal. But just like the golden lines on that pottery, those broken places in your life can show where you've grown, where you've healed, and where you've found new strength. It's okay for things to break. It's okay to feel the sadness that comes with it. But remember, the cracks don't mean something is ruined forever. Often they are the very places where new light gets in, where new understanding forms, where real change begins. They show your resilience, your ability to heal, and the unique mended beauty of your own story. And that's a powerful, beautiful thing. You can't please everyone. Have you ever tried to make everyone around you happy, only to feel like you're balancing a tower of fragile plates? It's a heavy feeling, isn't it? This truth, hard as it is, whispers that such a task is not just difficult but impossible. Our lives are like unique songs, and not every ear will find harmony in our melody. And that's okay. People have thought about this for a long time. Think of Aesop's fable about a man, his son, and their donkey. Going to market, they tried to please everyone. First the man rode, then the boy, then both, then neither, carrying the donkey. Trying to make everyone happy, they ended up looking foolish. This old story shows us the world is full of different viewpoints, as varied as the stars. Here's the thing. Human beings are incredibly complex. We each carry our own universe inside us, shaped by different experiences, beliefs, and feelings. Imagine you and your friends are trying to pick a movie. One person loves action, another wants comedy, and someone else just wants a quiet drama. You can't pick a film that perfectly satisfies all three desires at once. You have to make a choice, and someone will naturally feel a little less excited. It's not about anyone being wrong. It's just about differing tastes and needs. So what does this mean for you? It means finding peace in the simple, profound truth that your worth isn't measured by how many people you can make smile. Instead, it's about listening to your own true north, that inner compass guiding you. You are not a universal remote control for everyone else's happiness. And that's a freeing thought, allowing you to walk your own path with courage and a lighter heart. Let's make service for. Money matters more than you think. Have you ever thought about what truly gives us choices in life? It's a deep question, but for many, a big part of the answer often comes down to something we might not want to admit: money. We often hear that money isn't everything, and that's true in terms of love or happiness. But here's the thing. Money is like a quiet, powerful current, flowing beneath almost everything, or sometimes, sadly, keeps them shut. Think about it this way. For thousands of years, humans have traded. From ancient grains and livestock to silver and gold, we've always found ways to give value to things so we can exchange them. Money, in its simplest form, is just a way to make that trade easier. It lets us get the food we need, a roof over our heads, and the chance to learn new things. It buys medicine when we are sick, or a train ticket to visit family far away. It offers a kind of quiet freedom, the ability to make decisions without a constant worry holding us back. Imagine you really want to try out for the school play. You have the talent, the passion, but then you find out there's a small fee for costumes or props. Or maybe a field trip comes up, one that could teach you so much, but it costs money. Sometimes these small amounts can become big hurdles, not because you don't care, but because the access isn't there. Money, in these moments, isn't greed. It's simply the tool that allows you to participate, to explore, to grow. This isn't to say that money brings joy on its own. It doesn't. Happiness comes from connections, purpose, and kindness. But money often creates the space, the safety net for those other, more meaningful things to flourish. It buys time, it buys security, and sometimes it simply buys peace of mind. To understand this isn't to be selfish, but to be wise about how the world works. It's about recognizing a fundamental truth, quietly woven into the fabric of our everyday lives, allowing us to build the life we dream of, brick by careful brick. Not everyone is good inside. Have you ever met someone and just felt a strange quietness about them? Not shyness, but like something inside was missing. It's a tough truth. Not every person carries kindness. We often wish everyone was honest, fair, and caring, like in stories. But the real world is more complicated. For a long time, thinkers have wondered about this. Are humans born good, or do we learn it? Some old philosophers believed people are naturally self-interested. Others thought we're born pure, and life changes us. The simple fact is, some people make unkind choices. They might act selfishly, or even try to hurt others, not by accident, but on purpose. It's not about being evil like a movie villain, but an absence of empathy or care. Think about a shadow. It's not a thing itself, it's just where light can't reach. A lack of goodness can feel like that, an absence. It's not always loud or obvious. It can be quiet unfairness, a small lie causing trouble, or a refusal to understand pain. For example, maybe you've seen someone in a group who takes credit for others' work, or talks behind people's backs, creating drama. They might seem nice, but their actions show a different truth. So what does this mean? It doesn't mean we should be suspicious of everyone. It means we learn to observe carefully. We learn to trust actions more than just words. It teaches us to guard our own hearts and choose wisely who we let close. It's a quiet understanding that the world holds both light and shadow, and that's okay. We can still choose to be the light ourselves. Exclamation.com. You can't go back in time. Have you ever wished you could rewind a moment? Maybe a mistake you made, or a perfect day you wanted to live again. Just one more time. Here's the thing. Time only moves in one direction. It's like a river, always flowing forward, never turning back to its source. Every second that ticks by is gone forever. This isn't just a sad thought. It's a deep, unchangeable truth about how life works. For thousands of years, people have felt this. Ancient thinkers, watching the sun rise and set, understood that yesterday truly was gone. Scientists today agree. They talk about something called the arrow of time. It's a way of saying that the universe itself seems to be built to move forward, not backward. We see things change, grow older, break down. We never see a broken cup reassemble itself perfectly, or a plant shrink back into a tiny seed. Think about a song you really love. When it plays, each note sounds once and then fades. You can play the song again, but you can't make that exact moment, that exact sound wave from the first time come back. Or consider a drawing you made. If you smudge it, that smudge is there. You can try to fix it, but you can't erase the fact that it was smudged. It's a permanent mark. Every word spoken, every laugh shared, every quiet thought. They happen, and then they become part of the past. This might sound a little heavy, but it's not meant to make you sad. Instead, it's a quiet invitation. If we can't go back, then every single moment we have right now is incredibly important. This means being present. It means noticing the sunlight, listening to a friend, or giving your best effort in what you're doing. Because what you do, say, and feel today isn't just for today. It builds your tomorrow. The past is fixed, but the present is where all your power lies. So let's live it well, knowing it's truly unique and unrepeatable. Carrie. People leave, and that's life. Have you ever wondered why some people who feel like they'll be in your life forever suddenly aren't? Or why friendships that were so strong can slowly just fade away? It's a strange feeling, isn't it? Like a piece of your world shifts, and you're left with a different landscape. Here's the thing. People leaving our lives, in big ways or small, is a natural part of growing up and just living. It's not always because of a fight or something bad. Sometimes people simply move to a new town, or their interests change, or you both start heading down different paths. It's like a river that flows. The water you see right now will be gone in a moment, replaced by new water. But it's still the same river, isn't it? Observed that everything in nature is always changing. The seasons turn, flowers bloom and then fade, and even the stars in the sky shift over thousands of years. They understood that change isn't something to be feared. It's just how the world works. People, like everything else, are part of this constant flow. Think about your favorite sports team or a club you're in. People graduate or they move to another team. New players join, bringing new energy. The team changes, but the game goes on. This can help you see that even though individuals come and go, the experience, the lessons, and the memories you made still stay with you. And so, while it can feel sad or confusing when someone leaves, it also opens up space. Space for new friends, new experiences, and new versions of yourself. It's a quiet truth that accepting this flow of people in and out of your life lets you appreciate the connections you have right now even more deeply. It teaches you to hold memories close, but also to look forward, knowing that life is always bringing something new. Learning to say no is key. Have you ever felt a tug deep inside when someone asks you for something, and you just want to say no? Like your whole being is whispering, "I can't take on one more thing?" That feeling is a harsh truth, but also a quiet guide. Learning to say no isn't about being mean or unhelpful. It's about drawing a clear line in the sand of your own life. It's about guarding your time, your energy, and that calm, quiet space inside you. Think about it. Every time you say yes to something, you are, in a way, saying no to something else. Often, that something else is your own rest, your own dreams, or even just time to breathe. Wise people, even ancient philosophers, understood this. They knew that a life lived well wasn't about pleasing everyone or doing everything. It was about knowing your own limits and respecting them. They believed true strength came from within, from understanding what was truly yours to give and what wasn't. Here's the thing. Imagine your mind and body are like a well filled with water. Every time you say yes to a request that drains you, an extra task, an outing you don't want, a worry that isn't yours, a bucket of water is pulled out. If you keep pulling buckets without letting the well refill, it will eventually run dry. This can help you understand why you sometimes feel so tired, so empty. Saying no to one request is like refusing to pull that extra bucket. It saves your energy for the things that truly matter, like your own growth, your genuine connections, or just simple moments of peace. It takes courage to speak that quiet no. It can feel uncomfortable at first, like going against a strong current. But when you do, you create space. You make room for what truly brings you joy, what truly helps you grow. This can help you learn who you are, separate from what everyone else wants you to be. It helps you protect your inner quiet, and that's a deep truth worth holding on to. Your best might not be enough for others. Have you ever worked as hard as you possibly could on something, putting in all your effort, only to find it wasn't what someone else wanted or expected? It's a strange, sometimes quiet truth about life. Sometimes your absolute best effort just isn't enough for other people. Not because your best wasn't good, but because their needs or views are simply different. Here's the thing. We often believe that if we just try harder, if we push ourselves to our limits, success is guaranteed. And in many ways, that's true for our own growth. But when our efforts meet the world outside ourselves, other things come into play. Ancient thinkers like those in Stoicism, a way of thinking from long ago, understood this idea. They taught that we should focus on what we can control, our actions, our effort, our character. What we cannot control is how others react, or if our efforts perfectly match their expectations. They said it's wise to accept this difference, to find peace in doing our part fully, without demanding a certain outcome from others. Think about a gardener planting a rare flower. They give it the best soil, the perfect amount of water, and just the right sunlight. They've done their absolute best. But sometimes, that flower might not bloom as brightly as they hoped, or it might not last as long. It's not because the gardener failed or their effort wasn't good enough. It might be something about the flower itself, or a tiny shift in the weather, or just how nature works. The gardener gave their best, but the flower has its own life. This feeling, that your best isn't always enough for someone else, can be hard to take in. But here's what I found. It doesn't mean you aren't good enough. It just means that life is complex, and we can only be responsible for our own effort, our own intentions. You learn to give your best, not for someone else's approval, but for the pride you feel in doing your part. And that's why it matters. You keep trying, you keep putting in the effort, knowing that your value isn't measured by whether others see your best as enough, but by the integrity of your own actions. Some days just feel bad. Some days do you just wake up and feel a quiet heaviness? Not sad for a reason, not angry at anyone, but just flat. Or maybe a little blue, like a gray sky that won't clear. It's a strange feeling, this low hum of discomfort that has no clear source. And here's the thing, it's okay. This feeling is a real part of being human. For thousands of years, people have tried to understand these moments. Ancient thinkers, like the Stoics, talked about accepting what you can't control. They knew that feelings come and go, like waves in the ocean. Sometimes the world feels bright and easy. Other times a shadow falls, and it's not because you did something wrong. It's just how the mind and body sometimes are. It's like your brain is a complex machine, and sometimes it just needs to slow down, to process things you might not even be aware of. Think of it like the weather. Some days are sunny and clear, perfect for everything. Other days it's overcast, even rainy, with no big storm in sight. It's just the atmosphere doing its thing. You don't blame the clouds for being there. You simply notice them. In the same way, your emotions have their own weather patterns. Sometimes your internal forecast is just a bit cloudy. This isn't a sign of weakness. It's just a sign of life. of being a feeling, breathing person. Your brain, working hard all the time, might just be taking a quiet moment, a sort of internal pause. So on these days, when the world feels a little off, and you can't point to why, remember this: it's a shared experience. Many people feel it, and like a passing cloud, it will drift away. You don't need to fix it or fight it, just let it be. Give yourself a little extra kindness. These days are not wasted. They are part of the landscape of a full, honest life. They remind us that even in the quiet moments, we are still here, still moving, still able to simply be. Comparing yourself only hurts you. Have you ever scrolled through social media, seeing perfect lives, amazing talents, or super cool stuff, and felt a tiny ache in your own chest? Or maybe you've looked at a classmate who seems to get everything right, and suddenly your own efforts feel small. Here's the thing. That feeling, that tug inside, comes from comparing yourself to others, and it's one of the harsh truths we often ignore, because doing it only ever hurts you. It's like trying to measure the height of a mountain by looking at a star. They are both beautiful, but they exist in totally different spaces, with different purposes and journeys. Your path, your growth, your talents, they are as unique as your own fingerprint. When you compare your inside feelings and struggles to someone else's outside wins and shiny moments, it's not a fair fight. You're seeing their highlight reel, not their bloopers or the hours of hard work. Philosophers, wise thinkers from long ago, knew this feeling well. Even thousands of years ago, people struggled with envy and feeling less than others. They taught that true peace comes from focusing on your own journey, your own inner garden. The Stoics, for example, believed that we should only worry about what we can control, our own actions, our own thoughts. You can't control what others have or do, so why let it control your happiness? Imagine a forest filled with trees. Some are tall and thin, reaching for the sky. Others are wide and sturdy, providing vast shade. Some have bright flowers, while others bear delicious fruit. No tree compares itself to another and thinks, "Oh, I wish I had more leaves like that one," or "My trunk isn't as grand as theirs." Each tree simply grows, soaking up its own sunlight, drawing from its own roots, becoming the best version of itself in its own spot. They don't compete, they just exist, beautiful in their own way. So, here's a thought to carry with you. Your value isn't found by measuring yourself against someone else's ruler. Your worth isn't a competition. The real strength comes from understanding your own unique light, nourishing your own growth, and celebrating the quiet, amazing journey that is only yours. When you stop looking outward with envy, you can finally see the incredible, one-of-a-kind person looking back from the mirror. Test. You'll miss out on stuff. Have you ever stopped to think about all the things you aren't doing right now? It's a strange thought, isn't it? But here's the thing. Every single choice you make means you don't get to make a different choice at that exact moment. When you pick one path, all the other paths gently fade away, at least for a little while. This isn't a bad thing, it's just how life works. It's a harsh truth because we often only focus on what we gain, not what we let go of. We tend to forget about the doors we quietly close behind us. Think of it like this. If you decide to spend your afternoon practicing guitar, you're not also out riding your bike, or reading a book, or helping a friend with their homework. You can only do one thing at a time. Long ago, wise thinkers, even without fancy words, understood this. They saw that choosing one thing means saying no to countless others. Economists later gave this idea a name: opportunity cost. It means the value of the next best thing you gave up. It's not about regret. It's about recognizing that every yes to one thing is a no to many others. And that's why it matters. Maybe you choose to try out for the school play. That's awesome. But it might mean you can't join the robotics club this semester. You can't be in two places at once, and you don't have endless hours in a day. It's a simple truth. Accepting this means understanding your time, energy, and focus are limited. It makes the choices you do make feel more important, more real. What you choose to dedicate yourself to becomes truly yours. So, while it's a tough idea to accept, knowing you'll miss out on stuff can actually help you appreciate what you do have. It teaches you to choose with a little more thought, a little more intention, making your time here more meaningful. Change is the only constant. Have you ever stopped to think about how everything around you seems to move, even when it looks still? We often wish for things to stay just as they are. A perfect summer day, a favorite song, a happy feeling. But here's the honest truth. Life is never truly still. It's like a vast flowing river, always in motion, always remaking itself. Long, long ago, an ancient Greek thinker named Heraclitus understood this deeply. He famously said something simple but powerful. You cannot step into the same river twice. Think about that for a moment. The water flowing past you in a river is always new, always moving on. So, the river itself, while looking the same, is never the exact same river from one moment to the next. The water is different. This idea isn't just about rivers, it's about everything. Your body is always changing, replacing old cells with new ones. Your thoughts and feelings shift, sometimes minute by minute. The friends you have today might grow and change, just as you will. The seasons turn, bringing new colors and temperatures to the world. And that's why it matters. Nothing, truly nothing, stays the same forever. Sometimes this constant motion can feel a little unsettling. It means saying goodbye to old ways, old comforts, even old versions of yourself. It means adapting to new situations, like a new school or a new project. But here's the other side of that coin. Change also brings new possibilities. It opens doors you didn't even know were there. It allows for healing, for growth, for becoming a better version of yourself. So perhaps the real peace comes not from trying to hold on to what is, but from learning to flow with the river, trusting its gentle, constant pull. It's okay for things to be different. It's simply how the world breathes, always moving forward. You won't always have the answers. Have you ever felt truly stuck? Like there's a big question in your mind, but no matter how hard you think, the answer just isn't there. Maybe you've tried to solve a really tough puzzle, and that one last piece is simply missing, leaving a gap. Here's the thing. Life often feels like that. Not every question has a clear, easy answer waiting for you, and sometimes there are no answers at all, no matter how deep you look or how much you wish there were. This can feel strange. It can feel a little uncomfortable, even scary, to not know. For thousands of years, people have thought about this. Ancient thinkers, like a Greek man named Socrates, believed that knowing you don't know everything is a kind of wisdom. He famously said something like, "The only true wisdom is knowing you know nothing." It sounds a bit confusing, but what he meant was that understanding how much you don't know opens your mind. It's not about being dumb. It's about seeing how big and mysterious the world truly is. Thinkers from all different times, even modern scientists, often hit places where the answers just stop. They try to understand the universe, or our minds, and they find huge gaps. Consider your own feelings. Why do you sometimes feel a sudden burst of anger, or a deep sadness, without a clear reason you can name? Or why do you dream the strange, wild things you do at night? Scientists and psychologists are still trying to figure out all the complex ways our minds work. There are still massive areas where we simply don't have all the answers. We can guess, but the full truth might stay hidden, at least for now. Here's why that matters. It's okay. It's not a failure to not know everything. Sometimes, the most important journey is not finding the answer, but learning to be okay with the question itself. It teaches you patience. It helps you stay truly curious about the world around you. It reminds us that there is always more to learn, and that wonder is a powerful, quiet thing. So, when you face something you can't figure out, instead of feeling frustrated, try to feel a little bit of calm wonder. There's a real strength in simply accepting the mystery. Adults don't know everything. Have you ever looked at a grown-up, maybe a parent or a teacher, and thought they held all the answers? They often speak with such confidence, as if they carry an invisible map to every question in life. But here's a quiet truth. No single person, no matter their age, truly knows everything. The world of knowledge is far too vast, like an endless ocean, and every one of us, young or old, is always just learning to navigate its currents. This isn't a new idea either. Wise thinkers from long ago understood this. There was a famous Greek philosopher named Socrates. He was known for saying something profound. The only true wisdom is knowing that you know nothing. What he meant was that the deeper you explore, the more you realize how many mysteries still exist. how much more there is to learn. It wasn't about feeling unintelligent. It was about accepting the huge unknown that surrounds us all. Think about it like this. Your brain is an incredible sponge, always soaking up new information. But even the biggest sponge can't hold the whole ocean, right? Or consider how much science changes. What doctors understood about the human body 100 years ago is different from what they know today. New discoveries are made constantly, proving old ideas incomplete or even wrong. This shows that knowledge isn't a fixed, finished thing, like a perfectly carved statue. Instead, it's more like a living forest, constantly growing, shedding old leaves, and sprouting new branches. So, what does this mean for you as you grow and learn? It means that the adults in your life are also explorers on this same journey. They have more miles on their map, but they're still discovering things, still facing new challenges. This isn't a reason to feel unsure or disappointed. Instead, it's a freeing, beautiful realization. It means the world is always open for new questions, new ways of seeing, and new discoveries, waiting for your unique perspective. Your journey of understanding is just as valid, and your questions are just as important. The adventure of exploring life never really ends for anyone. With iList, have you ever wondered if we can truly make fear disappear? We spend so much energy trying to push it away, to pretend it's not there. But here's the thing. Fear isn't just some bad feeling we can get rid of with enough effort. It's a fundamental part of being human, a quiet hum beneath our everyday lives. It was there when our earliest ancestors roamed the earth, a vital alarm bell keeping them safe from real dangers. Think about it. Even thousands of years ago, people knew this feeling. Ancient thinkers would talk about how fear, though uncomfortable, was linked to our desire to protect what we loved. Imagine you're about to try something new, like giving a presentation in class or stepping onto the stage for a school play. You might feel a flutter in your stomach, a tightness in your chest. That's fear. Even if you practice 100 times, even if you know you're good, that little voice might still whisper. It's not about being bad at something. It's about caring enough for it to matter. That feeling is your body's old system, sometimes overprotective, trying to get you ready. It's like a security system that's always on, just in case. So, the harsh truth isn't that you must defeat fear. The truth is, it's a constant companion. It will show up in new ways as you grow, with new challenges. But knowing it's real, and that it stays, changes how you see it. You don't have to fight it off completely. Instead, you can learn to sit with it, to understand its message. Sometimes that message is simply, this matters to you. And that can be a powerful, even quiet, guide through life's many paths. It reminds us we are alive, and we care. Regrets happen. Learn from them. Do you ever look back at something you said or did, and a little wave of, I wish I hadn't, washes over you? That feeling, that heavy ache in your chest, that's regret. It's not just a passing thought. It's a deep whisper from your past, a quiet echo telling you things could be different. It's about wishing you could rewind time to change a choice or a moment. Here's the thing. Everyone feels it. From the oldest stories to the books written today, people have always wrestled with the choices they made and the regrets that followed. They understood that feeling regret isn't a sign of weakness. Instead, it's a profound teacher, often a harsh one, but a valuable teacher nonetheless. It's like an inner compass, pointing not to where you are, but to where you wish you'd gone or how you wish you'd behaved. This feeling shows you what you care about and what matters to you. Think of it like this. Imagine you're using a map to find a new place. You take a wrong turn, and for a moment you feel that pang of, oh no, I messed up. That's the regret. But what do you do next? You don't just stop, right? You look at the map again, figure out where you went wrong, and then find a new path to get back on track. The regret is realizing the mistake. Courage. It pushes you to find that bravery next time. And that's why it matters so much. Regret isn't meant to chain you to the past or make you feel bad. It's meant to light up the path forward, showing you where to step more carefully, more thoughtfully, more kindly. It reminds us that we always have the chance to choose differently, to do better, to be better. We carry the wisdom of yesterday's missteps. So, when that feeling of regret shows up, listen to what it's trying to teach you. Let it help you grow, guiding you to become the thoughtful, strong person you're truly meant to be. Small choices add up big. Have you ever felt like the tiny things you do each day don't really matter? Like picking up one piece of trash, or choosing to read just a few pages of a book, or saying one kind word? It's easy to think those small moments just vanish, like whispers in the wind. But here's the thing. Those whispers often become the very loudest parts of our lives. Think about it like this. A vast, mighty river doesn't begin as a raging flood. It starts with a single raindrop, then another, and another, slowly joining together. Over a long, long time, these tiny drops carve out deep canyons. Ancient thinkers, like the Stoics, talked about how virtue wasn't a grand, sudden act. It was built, stone by stone, through countless, small, good choices made every single day. They understood that consistency, even in little ways, holds immense power. Consider your own choices. Maybe you spend 10 minutes each evening tidying your room, or practice guitar for just 5 minutes. These small choices don't feel like much, but a year of 10-minute cleanups makes your room a calm space. 5 minutes of guitar practice daily turns into hours of skill, a quiet mastery growing without you even noticing. It's like planting a tiny seed. You don't see the tree instantly, but the roots are always reaching, pushing up, slowly, steadily. So, it's not always the huge, dramatic decisions that shape us the most. Often, it's the quiet stream of everyday choices, the ones so small we barely notice them. They add up, silently building the person we become, carving the path we walk. And that's why even the smallest choice carries a hidden weight, a gentle power, waiting to reveal itself over time. Kindness isn't always returned. Have you ever gone out of your way to be truly kind to someone? Maybe you helped a friend study for a test, or you just listened when they were having a bad day. You felt good doing it, and you hoped they'd be there for you too if you ever needed help. But sometimes, life is tricky. When your own tough moment comes, and you look for that person, they might be nowhere to be found. Or worse, they act like your kindness never happened. Here's the thing about kindness. We often think it works like a balanced scale. We give something good, and we expect something good back. But the world doesn't always work that way. True kindness is like a seed planted in the wind. You let it go, hoping it lands and grows. But sometimes that seed drifts away, landing where it can't take root or forgotten. And that can sting. It can make your heart ache, feeling like your act was unseen or unappreciated. This isn't a new idea. Wise people across history have talked about kindness not as a trade, but as a free gift. Think of a beautiful flower that blooms just once. You don't admire it hoping it will give you something in return. You appreciate its beauty just for what it is. An old Roman philosopher, Seneca, taught that true generosity is given without thought of getting something back. It's about the act itself, not a payoff. When we offer kindness, we share a piece of ourselves. We offer empathy, support, or understanding. Sometimes that piece is treasured. Other times, it might be overlooked. But here's what's important. Your kindness isn't measured by how others react. It's measured by the goodness from your heart. It comes from your choice to be thoughtful, generous, human. You build something strong inside. You nurture your own spirit, making it bigger and more open. So, even if kindness doesn't return, it still blooms inside you, changing you for the better. Sometimes it's just bad luck. Have you ever had one of those days where everything just seems to go wrong, and it's not really your fault? You spill your juice, miss the bus by a second, or suddenly your phone screen cracks, even though you were being careful. It feels unfair, doesn't it? We look for a reason, a mistake we made, something to explain it. But here's the thing. Sometimes it truly is just bad luck. We often like to believe that if we work hard and do everything right, good things will always happen. And often they do. But life isn't always a neat equation where every effort equals a certain reward. Imagine a dice roll. You can try your best to roll a 6, but sometimes, no matter how hard you wish or how carefully you throw, it lands on a 1. That's the randomness of it, the unexpected twist. People in ancient times, like the Greeks, often talked about fate or chance, a powerful, unseen force that didn't care about your plans or desires. They saw life as having moments that were simply outside of anyone's control, like a sudden storm appearing out of nowhere, or a tree falling in a strong wind, completely independent of human will. Think about standing on a sidewalk, just walking along, minding your own business, lost in your thoughts. And then, suddenly, you trip over a tiny, unseen crack you couldn't possibly have noticed in time. You didn't do anything wrong. You weren't distracted. You weren't being careless. It just happened, a simple moment of physics and circumstance colliding. Or maybe you're playing a video game, doing everything perfectly, lining up that perfect shot, and then a random critical hit from an enemy you didn't see wipes out your character. It's frustrating because there was truly nothing you could have done differently in that instant. These moments of pure chance, where things go wrong for no good reason, can be tough to accept. Our minds want an explanation, a villain, something to blame so we can prevent it next time. But sometimes there isn't one. The harsh truth is that life holds surprises, some wonderful, some painful, that simply are. And maybe understanding that some things are just random helps us let go of the intense need to control everything. It helps us find a little peace in knowing that not every stumble is our fault. Not every disappointment is a result of our own doing. And that, in itself, is a kind of freedom. Under. You can't fix everyone's problems. Isn't it strange how sometimes when you see someone struggling, your first thought is to just fix it for them, like a missing puzzle piece, and you feel this deep urge to fix it. You want to wipe away the tears or solve the problem. But here's the thing. You simply can't fix everyone's problems. This isn't about not caring. It's about understanding something important about life. For thousands of years, people have noticed this. Wise thinkers saw that each person has their own path, their own lessons to learn. Some things in life are yours to walk through, and some belong to someone else. You can offer a hand, you can walk beside them, but you can't walk their entire journey for them. Their struggles sometimes are what help them grow strong, in ways you can't imagine. Think about a small seed planted in the earth. You can give it water, sunlight, and protect it, but you cannot force it to push roots down or sprout. The seed has to do that part itself. It has its own strength, its own timing. It has to break through the soil on its own. It's the same with people. You can be the sun, the water, the gentle hand that protects, but they have to do the growing, the pushing through for themselves. And that's why it matters. It teaches us about limits and about what real compassion is. Compassion isn't always about solving everything. Sometimes it's about being there, offering comfort, and trusting they can find their own way. It's a quiet understanding that you're not responsible for everyone's happiness, only for your own actions and kindness. It lets you breathe, knowing you don't carry the world's weight. It lets them find their own strength. Under. You'll lose things you love. Have you ever thought about how much we connect with things we love? Here's the thing. A quiet truth about life is that you will lose things you love. It's not just people, though that's a big part. It's also places, moments, and even parts of yourself. This isn't about being scary, but about understanding something real. For thousands of years, thinkers have tried to understand.
Always flowing, always new. Just like a river, life keeps moving. What's here one moment might be gone the next. This isn't a new idea. It's a quiet truth echoing through history, found in many cultures. It teaches us that change is not a problem to fix, but a natural part of being alive. Think about a favorite video game you played constantly. Maybe you loved it and thought you'd play it forever. But then, new games came out, your interests shifted, or maybe the game's servers shut down. That feeling of loss, even for something small, is a tiny echo of how bigger losses feel. Or consider a tree in autumn. It holds onto its leaves all summer, vibrant and green. But as seasons change, the tree lets go. The leaves turn beautiful colors, then fall. The tree doesn't fight it. It knows it's part of its life cycle. It's a natural process. Losing something you love can hurt deeply. It's okay to feel that sadness. But understanding this truth isn't about staying sad. Instead, it's about learning to appreciate what you have right now, in this moment. It helps you see the beauty in things while they are here. It reminds us to be present, to really notice and cherish the connections we make, the memories we create. Because even though things change and move on, the love and the lessons stay with you, shaping who you become. Number 1. Perfection isn't a real thing. Do you ever feel like you're chasing something impossible? Like there's this idea of being perfectly smart, perfectly talented, or having a perfectly neat room. We often imagine perfection as this shining, flawless goal. But here's the thing about perfection. It's not actually real. It's just an idea, something we hold in our minds, but it doesn't truly exist in the world around us. For a long time, people have thought about perfection. Ancient thinkers, like those in old Greece, used to talk about ideal forms. They imagined a perfect circle or a perfect horse, beautiful beyond anything you could ever see. But even they knew these were just ideas. No one ever found a truly perfect circle drawn on paper, or a perfectly flawless horse in a field. The real world, life itself, is just too messy for that. Think about nature. Look at a tree. Is every branch perfectly straight? Is every leaf exactly the same shape as the next? No, right? Each leaf has its own unique edges, maybe a little tear or a tiny spot. And that's what makes it real and beautiful. Even a snowflake, though intricate, is never truly identical to another. Its tiny imperfections make it one of a kind. Trying to be perfect can make us feel stuck. It can make us afraid to try new things or show who we really are. If we mess up or aren't exactly what we think we should be, it can feel like a failure. But what if the beauty is in the trying, in the learning, in the little wobbles and mistakes that make us, well, us? Maybe the real journey isn't about reaching some impossible finish. Wonder in the unique, unpolished, perfectly imperfect person you already are. Some monkey, hard talks are needed. Have you ever felt that knot in your stomach? When you know something needs to be said, but the words feel heavy? It's a common feeling, this hesitation before a hard talk. These aren't just arguments. A hard talk means looking at a truth that makes us uneasy. It could be about ourselves, someone we care for, or the world. It's facing something real, even if it stings. For ages, wise people knew this. Real growth doesn't come when things are easy. It comes when we dare to explore what's difficult. Think of a seed. To become a strong tree, it pushes through hard soil, reaches for light, and faces the wind. It's not a gentle process. The same is true for us. Here's the thing. Avoiding these tough talks, with a friend or with our own thoughts, is like ignoring a small splinter. At first, it's just annoying. But if you leave it, it can get infected. It hurts more later. When we skip these talks, we miss a chance to heal and to understand. It's like a doctor examining an injury. They might ask uncomfortable questions or touch a sore spot. This is how they figure out how to heal it. The examination might not feel good, but it's the only way to get better. So when that feeling arises, that quiet push to speak a truth or think something difficult, remember, it's a chance. These moments aren't punishments. They are pathways. They are the quiet courage it takes to step forward, even when the path feels rough. And that's why it matters. Facing these truths, saying these hard things, or listening, helps us grow. It builds a stronger, more honest foundation for ourselves and our connections. It's about being brave enough to learn. Some monkey, not all advice is good advice. Have you ever listened closely to someone giving advice, and a tiny part of you just felt it wasn't quite right? It's a strange feeling, isn't it? Like they're talking about a beautiful path, but it's not your path. This is a quiet truth about life. Not all well-meant advice is good advice for you. People often share what they know, what worked for them, and that's usually from a place of caring. But here's the thing. Their life is like a specific type of soil, and their advice is like a plant that grew perfectly in that soil. Maybe they thrived by being super outgoing or by always following a strict schedule. But what if you're a different kind of plant? What if you need more quiet time to bloom, or a little more freedom to stretch your own way? Thinkers from long ago, people who thought deeply about life, understood this in their own ways. They often spoke of knowing thyself, meaning understanding your own nature, your own unique strengths, and what comes from feeling your own way forward, piece by piece, rather than just walking someone else's paved road. Consider this. If a friend tells you the best way to get good at a video game is to always rush forward, but you find you play much better when you take your time and plan, whose advice should you follow? Your own experience, right? It's like a scientific experiment. Sometimes the standard procedure isn't quite right for your specific setup, and you learn a deeper truth by observing what actually happens in your hands. So, when someone offers their wisdom, listen kindly, take it in, but then, quietly, gently, ask yourself, does this truly fit my heart? Does this feel right for me? It's okay if it doesn't. Your life is your own special garden. You get to decide what seeds to plant and how to tend them. Trust that quiet, soft voice inside you. It often knows the way home, even when everyone else is shouting different directions. For watching these voice, you'll feel lonely sometimes. Have you ever been in a crowded room like a school assembly or a busy mall, but still felt completely alone? It's a strange feeling, isn't it? Like you're watching a movie and everyone else is part of it, but you're just on the outside, looking in. This feeling, this quiet ache inside, is what we call loneliness. It's not always about being physically by yourself. You can be surrounded by people and still feel truly separate, like a single boat on a vast ocean, even when other ships are nearby. It's a deep sense of disconnect, a quiet whisper that maybe no one truly understands what you're going through. Here's the thing. This feeling isn't new. For thousands of years, people have written about loneliness. Even wise old philosophers who lived a long, long time ago thought a lot about friendship and community. They knew that humans are social creatures. We need each other. But they also understood that even with friends and family, there are moments when our own minds feel like a universe of one. It's a part of the human experience, a shadow that sometimes falls across even the brightest day. It reminds us that we are unique beings with our own inner worlds. Think about a night sky. You see countless stars, right? Millions of them, maybe billions. They all exist in the same massive space. But each star is still an individual, burning its own bright light years away from the next one. They are connected by gravity, part of the same galaxy, but they are also truly separate. In a way, that's a bit like us. We're all part of humanity, connected in countless ways, but each of us holds our own unique thoughts, feelings, and experiences that no one else can fully share or know. So, when that feeling of loneliness creeps in, remember that it's okay. It's a natural part of being human. It's a quiet space where you can sometimes hear your own thoughts more clearly. It can even teach you about yourself, about what you truly need and value. It reminds you how precious connection is, and it makes those moments of real belonging feel even more special. It's not a flaw, it's just another part of the rich, complicated story of being alive. I learns the writer as point of procrastination. Not everyone actually cares. 23-8ers, have you ever felt like your biggest worry, that one huge thing keeping you up at night, must be on everyone else's mind too? Like, surely everyone notices your bad hair day, or how you tripped on the stairs. We often hope that when we're hurting, or even when we achieve something great, everyone around us will feel it just as deeply. But here's the quiet truth. They don't. Not really. It's not because people are mean or bad.
It's just that every person lives inside their own complex world, full of their own feelings, their own homework, their own family stuff. Think about it like this. For you, your life is the main movie playing on a giant screen. It's in 3D, surround sound, super vivid. But for everyone else, your movie is just a small scene playing on a tiny TV in the background of their own giant, vivid movie. This idea that people are mostly focused on their own lives isn't new. Even thinkers from long ago, like the ancient Greek philosophers, understood this. They talked about how important it was to focus on what you could control, your own actions, your own thoughts, rather than worrying too much about what others thought or how much they cared. They knew that relying only on others for your happiness or sorrow could leave you feeling empty. Here's the thing about our brains. We have something called the spotlight effect. It makes us feel like there's a bright spotlight shining on us all the time, and everyone is watching our every move, judging us, caring about our every little success or stumble. But in reality, that spotlight is mostly in our own minds. Other people are usually too busy feeling like they are under their own spotlight to pay super close attention to yours. And that's why it matters. This understanding can feel a little lonely at first, but it can also be incredibly freeing. It means you have more space to simply be yourself, without the heavy burden of constant external approval. It helps you appreciate those rare, true connections even more. The friends or family who really do pause their own movie for a moment to sit quietly and watch yours with you. It's a quiet strength knowing that your path is yours to walk, and you don't need everyone else watching every step. 73 Aiders. 23 Aiders. Have you ever thought about what strength really means? Is it always about doing everything by yourself, never needing anyone? Here's the thing. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is admit you don't have all the answers. It's about knowing when to reach out. It's not about giving up, but about choosing a better path forward. It shows you're smart enough to know your own limits and brave enough to want to grow past them. For thousands of years, people have understood this. Ancient thinkers knew that humans weren't built to be alone. We've always depended on each other. Think about early villages. No one person could do everything alone. They had to work together. This idea that we thrive when we connect has been around forever. Imagine a huge, tall building. Does it stand on its own? No. It has a strong foundation and countless beams and wires all working together. Each part supports the others. If one part is weak, the whole structure is at risk. But when every part connects and supports, the building stands tall. Your life is like that. You can't be every single support beam by yourself. You need other people to be part of your foundation, to help you stand firm. So, when you ask for help, you're not showing weakness. You're actually showing a different kind of power. You're showing courage, self-awareness, and a willingness to connect. You're building stronger bridges between yourself and others. And in doing so, you become a more complete, more resilient person. It's a quiet truth, but a powerful one. Asking for help makes you truly deeply strong. Infecting, learning never really stops. Have you ever wondered if there's a point where you just stop learning, like when you graduate or finish a big project and suddenly you know it all? Here's a harsh truth that's also strangely beautiful. That moment never truly arrives. Learning isn't just about textbooks or tests, it's about the quiet way we keep understanding the world, and even more, understanding ourselves. Think about it. Way back, thinkers like Socrates believed wisdom wasn't knowing everything, but knowing how much you still had to learn. They saw life itself as one big classroom. Humans have always been explorers, not just of new lands, but of new ideas. Every person we meet, every mistake we make, every quiet moment of thought teaches us something new. This isn't just a nice thought, it's how we're made. Consider how our brains work. They're always changing, like a city always building new paths based on what we experience. If you try a new hobby, like learning to play an instrument or solving a complicated puzzle, your brain literally rearranges itself. It builds new connections. Even talking to a friend about something confusing, you're learning. You're trying to figure out how they see things, or how to share your ideas better. It's like your brain is always practicing, always getting stronger. So here's the thing. That feeling of not knowing everything, of always having more to discover, that's not a bad thing. It's what makes us human. It means life is an endless journey, a quiet adventure that happens every day. And that's why it matters. It means you are always growing, always becoming more of who you are. There's no final lesson, just a journey of endless discovery. Some problems have no easy fix. Have you ever felt truly stuck, like there's a problem, And no matter how hard you think, there isn't a simple answer, a quick way to make it all better. Life, sometimes, brings us these kinds of challenges. They aren't like a math problem with one right answer. They're more like a tangled knot you can't just snip. Not every broken thing can be quickly glued back. Not every deep sadness or hurt fades overnight. Some problems dig roots so deep their solutions aren't found in a simple guide. They ask for more. People have wrestled with this idea for thousands of years. Even ancient thinkers knew that certain parts of life simply are. They understood sorrow, loss, or unfairness were woven into the human journey. These weren't things you could just fix away. It's like trying to stop the ocean tide. You can't. But you can learn to build strong walls, or build a boat, or swim with the waves. This understanding teaches us what we can control and what we can't. Think about a really old, beautiful tree that has stood for hundreds of years. Its roots hold onto the earth tightly. If a big storm tears off a huge branch, you can't just wish it back into place. The tree has been changed forever. It will heal, yes, and new growth might happen, but that part of its story will always be there. It's similar to when a cherished old object breaks. Even if repaired, the tiny cracks or the memory of its breakage remain. It works, but it carries its history. So, here's the quiet truth. Understanding that some problems don't have quick, easy fixes isn't about giving up hope. It's actually about seeing life more honestly, more deeply. It teaches us patience. Often, it teaches us how to live with things as they are, finding peace in acceptance. It shows us that true strength isn't always about fixing everything perfectly, but about finding beauty in the mended parts, in the slow, quiet healing that happens over time, and in adapting to what life brings. Being different is hard, but cool. Have you ever felt like you just don't quite fit in? Like everyone else is following one path, but your feet want to walk somewhere else entirely? It's a tough feeling we often know. When you're different, sometimes it feels like you're standing alone in a crowded room. People might not understand you. They might even make you feel wrong. This is the hard part of being different. But here's the thing. The world moves forward not because everyone does the same thing. It's because someone, somewhere, saw something differently. They didn't just follow old ways. They tried new paths, new thoughts. History is full of people who were seen as strange or odd in their time. Think of an inventor who spent years on an idea no one believed in, or an artist who painted pictures that looked nothing like what was popular. People like Leonardo da Shape, with the same kind of leaves, it would be boring and maybe even unhealthy. But a real forest has all sorts of trees. Tall ones, short ones, ones with thick trunks, others with spreading branches. Each is different, but together they make a strong, beautiful place. The tiny moss is different from the giant oak, but both are vital. Being different is like that. It's not about being better or worse. It's about being truly you. It's a quiet power, a gentle strength from knowing who you are, even when it feels lonely. Your unique way of seeing things, your specific talents, your personal quirks, these are not weaknesses. They are the colors you bring to the world's painting. They are what make the forest diverse and strong. So yes, it can be hard sometimes, but being different is also truly, deeply cool. It's where your real contribution to the world begins. Gontin sa kaya maitsirun. Your feelings are valid, but not always facts. Have you ever felt something so strongly, so powerfully, that it seemed like the absolute truth of the world? Maybe a sudden wave of fear before a big presentation, making you feel certain you'd mess up, or a rush of anger when a friend said something thoughtless, convincing you they didn't care at all. Here's the thing about those powerful feelings. They are completely real inside of you. They are valid. You are truly feeling them, and no one can take that away. But here's the harsh truth that can be tough to hear. Just because you feel something doesn't always make it a fact about the world outside you. Your feelings are your inner experience, like a vivid painting created by your mind. But sometimes, that painting isn't a perfect picture of reality. Long ago, thinkers and wise people like the old Greek philosophers talked about this. They understood that our emotions, while strong and important, could sometimes cloud our judgment. They taught that to truly see things clearly, we needed to look beyond just how we felt and try to understand what was actually happening. It's like looking at a distorted reflection in a funhouse mirror. Your reflection is real, but it's not what you actually look like. Think about it this way. Imagine you're about to try out for a school play. You might feel a knot in your stomach, your hands might shake, and your mind might scream, "You're going to fail. Everyone will laugh." Those feelings are absolutely valid. You are genuinely nervous. But is it a fact that you will fail? No. The fact is, you've practiced, you're prepared, and the outcome isn't decided yet. Your feelings are telling a story, but that story isn't always the one that's actually unfolding. So, while we must always honor our feelings and listen to what they might be trying to tell us about ourselves, we also learn to gently question them. We can hold them close, acknowledge them, and then ask, is this feeling also a fact? What is really true here? This simple practice can bring a deep sense of calm, helping us see the world with clearer eyes, even when our hearts are full. You won't always be understood. Have you ever felt like you're speaking a language no one else hears? Like you're explaining something really important, but the person listening just doesn't get it? This feeling, this gap between what you mean and what they hear, is a harsh truth. Here's the thing. Everyone has their own unique story inside. We carry different memories, joys, and hurts. These experiences shape how we see the world, hear words, and understand feelings. So, when you share a thought, someone else filters it through their own mind. Long ago, thinkers wondered why true connection was so hard. They realized that truth isn't always the same for everyone. It's like trying to describe a dream. You know how it felt, the colors, the twists. But when you tell it, the feeling often gets lost. This happens daily. Imagine watching a sad movie with a friend. You might feel tears, a deep ache. Your friend might see it as just a story, interesting, but not moving. They're not being mean. Their mind connects differently because their experiences or mood are different. Sometimes you say exactly what you mean from your heart, and the other person hears something different. It can feel frustrating or lonely. But understanding this, that it's natural for humans, can bring peace. It reminds you that while it's good to explain yourself, it's also okay if some people don't fully grasp your world. You learn patience both with others and with yourself. And sometimes, you just hold those parts of yourself others don't understand, knowing they're still true for you. You have to stand up for yourself. You have to stand up for yourself. Have you ever felt like your voice was too small in a noisy room? Like maybe what you felt or thought didn't quite matter as much as someone else's? Here's the thing. No one else will always speak for you. Standing up for yourself means finding that quiet strength inside. It means knowing what you need, what you believe, and then, gently, but firmly, letting others know. It's not about being loud or mean. It's about recognizing your own value, even when it feels hard. For centuries, people have wrestled with this idea. Think about ancient thinkers who talked about knowing yourself, about finding your own truth. It wasn't about fighting battles with swords, but about claiming your own mental space. They understood that if you didn't value your own thoughts, others probably wouldn't either. This idea isn't new. It's been part of what it means to grow into a strong person for a very long time. Imagine a single sapling growing in a dense forest. If it doesn't push its roots deep or stretch its branches towards the sunlight, it will be overshadowed. It won't grow. Someone misunderstands you, your ideas might not see the light of day. You have to make that gentle reach. So,
The harsh truth is, sometimes you are your only champion. Learning to stand up for yourself isn't about conflict. It's about peace. It's about building a quiet confidence that lets you walk through life feeling seen and respected. It's a slow, steady journey of learning to trust your own inner compass. And that's why it matters, for your own calm, for your own path forward. Time. Nobody owes you anything. Have you ever stopped to think about what you're owed in life? Not in a selfish way, but just what do you expect the world to give you, simply because you exist? The harsh truth, and maybe the most freeing one, is that nobody really owes you anything. This idea means that the world isn't designed to hand you success, happiness, or even kindness. It means no one is obligated to help you, to like you, or to make things easy for you. It's a big thought, maybe even a little scary at first. But here's the thing. It means your life, your path, and your achievements are truly in your own hands. For a long, long time, people understood this. Think about our ancestors, centuries ago. They didn't have systems promising them food or shelter. They had to work for it, build it, and find it themselves. Ancient philosophers, people who just sat and thought deeply about life, often talked about how we must be responsible for ourselves. They believed that relying on others to give us things could actually make us weaker. This isn't about being alone. It's about being strong from within. Think of it like a tree, a simple oak sapling. It doesn't expect the soil to be perfect or the rain to fall exactly when it needs it. It doesn't complain if the sun is too hot or the winter too cold. That little tree just keeps pushing its roots deeper, reaching its branches wider, finding its own way to grow. Its survival, its towering strength, comes from its own effort to adapt and thrive, not from the world owing it anything. The world just is. So this truth isn't meant to be mean or lonely. Instead, it's like a quiet whisper telling you how powerful you really are. It means you don't have to wait for permission or for someone to open a door for you. You can build your own door. And that's why it matters. Because it shows you that your future is something you get to create, piece by piece, with your own two hands. It makes every success, every bit of help you do get, feel like an amazing gift, not something you were guaranteed. The world doesn't center on you. Have you ever felt like everyone is watching you, or that your own feelings are the most important thing happening in the room? It's a natural human feeling to believe the world revolves around us. When we're young, our experiences are so big, so immediate. But here's the thing, while your feelings are real and important to you, the whole universe and even the small world around you isn't actually built just for you. Every person you see, every face in the hallway, every car on the street holds an entire life as vivid and complex as your own. They have their own hopes, their own worries, their own daily struggles. You are a star in your own story, yes, but they are stars in theirs. For a very long time, people believed the Earth was the center of everything. They thought the sun, moon, and stars all spun around us. It felt right because from our view, that's what it looked like. But then, smart people like Copernicus and Galileo used science and observation. They showed us that actually the Earth is just one planet orbiting a much larger sun. We are part of a vast solar system, which is part of an even vaster galaxy. This wasn't to make us feel small, but to help us see a bigger truth. We are connected to something immense, and we are not alone at the center. Think about your school. When you walk through the doors, you might be thinking about your next class, or a test, or what your friends are doing. But look around. Your history teacher is thinking about lesson plans. The janitor is thinking about keeping the building clean. The principal is thinking about school rules. Each person is living their own full, busy day, totally focused on their own path. They aren't constantly thinking about what you said or did, because they're caught up in their own unique world. Realizing this can feel strange at first, but it's not a sad truth, it's actually quite freeing. It means you don't have to carry the weight of everyone else's attention. You can breathe a little easier. It also opens your eyes to truly see others, to understand they are living their own journey, just like you. And that shared journey, with all its different paths, is what makes the world so rich and interesting. Goodbyes are for real. Have you ever really stopped to think about goodbyes? We say them often, casually or with heavy hearts. But here's the thing. Goodbyes are not just words. They are true endings. They mark a point where something or someone leaves our immediate experience. Often, it's for good in that particular form. It's a hard truth to accept, this idea that things really do end. We often hope for a "see you later" or imagine a return. But many goodbyes mean a door closing, a chapter finishing. Ancient thinkers understood this a long time ago, like the Greek philosopher Heraclitus. He said you can't step into the same river twice. Why? Because the river is always flowing, always changing. The water he stepped in is gone, replaced by new water. Our lives flow a bit like that river. Think about a favorite song on the radio. It plays, you enjoy it, and then it ends. The notes stop, you can play it again, but that exact moment, that exact sound wave is gone. Or imagine when summer turns to fall. The green leaves change color, then they fall off the trees. Those leaves won't return to the branches next spring. They become part of the earth, making way for new growth. It's a natural cycle of ending and beginning. It can feel a little sad, this feeling of something being truly over. But understanding goodbyes are real, that endings truly happen, helps us value the present more deeply. It reminds us to truly see and appreciate the people, the experiences, and the quiet moments we have right now. Because every single moment, eventually, becomes a memory, a part of our past. And that's okay. It's how life keeps moving forward, always changing, always making room for what's next. Family will not must. What matters now might not later. Have you ever stopped to think about what you deeply care about right now? Like the one thing that feels super important? Here's the thing. What feels huge today, it might not even cross your mind next year or in 5 years. It's a strange but true part of growing up, how our focus shifts. Thinkers throughout history have talked about constant change. A long time ago, a Greek philosopher named Heraclitus had a famous idea. You can't step into the same river twice. He meant everything is always moving, always changing. The river changes with every drop of water, and so do you. Your feelings, the ideas you hold dear, they flow just like that river. The you of today is different from the you of yesterday, even if you don't always feel it. This idea isn't about being negative or saying nothing lasts. It's simply about observing how life works. Think about your favorite band from a few years ago. You probably knew all their songs, maybe even had their posters up. You felt like they were everything. But what about now? Maybe you still like them, or maybe you've moved on to new sounds, new artists. Your taste changed, your feelings shifted. This happens with friendships too, or even what clothes you wear. What seemed like the absolute end of the world last month, like a small disagreement or a difficult test, might feel like a distant memory now, almost unimportant. This understanding is not meant to make you think nothing matters or that you shouldn't care deeply. Instead, it's about understanding how life flows, like that river Heraclitus talked about. Some things are just seasons in our lives. They come, they are important for a while, they teach us something, then slowly fade, making space for new experiences and understandings. And that's okay. It's how we grow, always moving forward, always becoming someone different, carrying only what truly endures deep inside. It's a quiet wisdom, knowing that today's worries can quietly turn into tomorrow's forgotten stories. After 2 years, it's okay not to know everything. Have you ever felt like you needed to have all the answers? Like maybe in a class or when talking with friends, you felt pressure to understand everything all the time? Here's the thing. It's perfectly fine not to know everything. In fact, it's one of the most powerful truths you can accept about life. Imagine for a moment. Think about the night sky. When you look up, you see countless stars, right? But do you know the name of every single star? Or how far away every galaxy is? No. And that's okay. The mystery, the vastness of it all, is part of what makes it so amazing. It leaves room for wonder, for questions, for discovery. People have thought about this for a long time. Even ancient thinkers, like a wise man named Socrates from long, long ago, famously said something like, "The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing." What he meant wasn't that he knew nothing at all. He meant that true understanding comes from realizing how much there is still to learn, how big the world is beyond what we already grasp. It's about humility, not ignorance. It's knowing the limits of what you understand. Think about learning a new language. When you start, you know very few words. You don't know all the grammar rules or how to say everything you want. But that's not a bad thing. It's the beginning of a journey. You learn little by little. You ask questions, you make mistakes, and you grow. Not knowing becomes the starting point for something new and exciting. So, here's what I found. Being comfortable with not knowing everything actually makes you smarter. It keeps your mind open. It means you're always ready to listen, to ask,
to explore. It frees you from the pressure of perfection and opens up a world of endless curiosity. Embrace the unknown. It's where true learning begins. Have you ever wished you could just snap your fingers and make everything go exactly as you planned? Maybe you hoped for a perfect day, or for a certain outcome on a test, or for someone to act a certain way. It's a natural feeling, wanting to be in charge of your own world. But here's a truth that often feels a little heavy. You can't control everything. So much of life simply unfolds on its own, outside our grip. Think about it. We live in a world filled with countless tiny pieces, all moving and shifting. You can't control the weather, can you? You can't make the sun shine on your outdoor plans, or stop the rain when it pours. And you definitely can't control what other people think or feel, or how they choose to act. Even the biggest, smartest people who ever lived understood this. Ancient thinkers, long before our time, spent years figuring out how to be okay with what they couldn't change. They realized that trying to control the uncontrollable is like trying to catch smoke with your bare hands. It just slips away, leaving you tired and frustrated. Here's a small example. Maybe you're working on a big school project and you put in so much effort. You did your research, designed it perfectly, and stayed up late to finish. But then, the computer crashes, or a group member doesn't do their part. You can't control that sudden tech glitch or someone else's choices, can you? You can only control your own actions, your own response. You can choose to panic, or you can take a deep breath, find a solution, and move forward. This isn't about giving up or feeling helpless. It's actually about finding a deep kind of strength. It's about learning to focus your energy on what you can control, your effort, your attitude, your choices, and how you react to things. When you let go of the need to control every little detail, you free up so much space in your mind and heart. You start to see that peace isn't found in making everything perfect, but in gracefully accepting the messy, beautiful, unpredictable flow of life. And that's where true calm lives. Prodernid Dr. Linger. You can start to do that sleeps proposes. You saw that where you think it beable. Sleep is super important. Do you ever think about what happens when the world goes quiet and you finally close your eyes? It might seem like you're just resting, but here's the thing. Sleep is a powerful, necessary journey your body and mind take every single night. It's not just a pause. It's when your brain cleans itself, sorting through all the day's memories, deciding what to keep and what to let go. It repairs your body and strengthens your immune system, getting you ready for whatever tomorrow brings. People have known this for a very long time. Even ancient thinkers, like those in Greece, didn't see sleep as just a blank space. They sometimes thought of it as a mysterious river, flowing between this world and another, where dreams might whisper forgotten truths. It was seen as a time for renewal, a sacred space where the mind could wander and return refreshed. This idea, that sleep holds a deeper meaning beyond just rest, has echoed through history. Mean stop on face with sleep's to-do of and choose history. Imagine your brain as a big, busy library. All day, new books, new information, feelings, sights are constantly coming in. If you never close, never clean up, never put books back on shelves, soon everything would be a huge mess, and finding anything would be impossible. That's what happens without sleep. When you sleep, your brain is like the quiet night librarian. It puts everything in its right place, connects different ideas, and makes sure the shelves are organized and ready for more learning and thinking the next day. This quiet work is vital for you to learn new things and remember old ones. If you don't get enough sleep, it's harder to focus in class, harder to remember things, and even harder to just feel good and calm. Your body feels heavy, your mind foggy. So sleep isn't lazy. It's an act of deep self-care, a fundamental part of being human. It's where your inner world gets time to breathe, to mend, to grow. It's a quiet gift you give yourself every single night, preparing you not just for the next day, but for the deeper parts of who you are becoming. It allows your mind to gently reset, making space for clarity and peace. Really does matter. So our brand came private. Your internal left to the Englution parenters and food morther. Have you ever truly paused to consider what food seems? Food is the very substance from which your moments are woven, the silent builder of your thoughts, your energy, your day. This truth is fundamental, yet so often it slips away in the rush of easy choices and treats. Your body, you see, is an astonishing thing, more intricate than any device you hold, and just like a finely tuned instrument needs careful handling and the right power source, your body demands precise nourishment. This isn't a new idea. For countless generations, wise thinkers understood this connection, long before science named vitamins or explained metabolism. People observed how certain foods brought strength, how others brought sluggishness. They saw food not just as fuel, but as a way to keep the body and the mind in a gentle balance. They knew what you ate touched not only your physical being, but also your spirit, your mood, and the clarity of your thoughts. Imagine a morning before a really challenging test, or a day when you need to focus on a difficult project. If you've started with sugary cereal and a fizzy drink, how does your brain feel? Probably a bit foggy, maybe a little jumpy, then tired. Now, think about the quiet, steady energy after a breakfast of oatmeal with fruit or scrambled eggs on whole grain toast. There's a different kind of hum within you. Your mind feels sharper, your concentration holds steady, like a still lake reflecting the sky. This simple shift isn't magic. It's your body, your brilliant brain, responding to the thoughtful fuel you've given it. This truth, though sometimes unwelcome because it asks for effort in a world of quick convenience, is a profound whisper. The quiet strength, the clear thoughts, the deep sense of well-being that grows from choosing to eat well, these are not small things. They are the bedrock of who you become. It's a way of honoring the vessel that carries you through life, a silent, vital agreement with yourself to build a strong, clear, and vibrant foundation, one conscious choice at a time. It's not about perfection, but about a deep, quiet care for the wonder that is you. Little habits make a big difference. Have you ever really stopped to think about how something tiny, almost invisible, can grow into something huge? It's not usually about one giant leap or a sudden, amazing change. Instead, life often shifts and reshapes itself through small, repeated actions. Think of it like a quiet drip of water over stone, not a crashing waterfall. Each small drop seems to do nothing, but over time it carves deep into the hardest rock. Long ago, wise people understood this deep truth. They didn't talk about habits exactly, but they understood how daily actions shaped a person's character and destiny. They knew that who you are becoming isn't decided in one big moment, but in thousands of tiny, seemingly unimportant ones. Every time you choose to read a page or practice a skill, or even just pause to breathe deeply, you are building something within yourself. Imagine a tiny seed. You hold it in your hand, and it seems so small, so ordinary. But what happens if you plant it, water it every day, and give it sunlight? It doesn't burst into a tree overnight. For weeks, maybe months, you might see nothing much. But underneath the soil, and then slowly above it, unseen changes are happening. Each drop of water, each ray of sun, each moment passing helps it grow. And one day, that tiny seed is a towering tree, offering shade and strength. It became mighty not through one magical event, but through countless small, steady moments of growth. Here's the quiet truth. Your life is being shaped by those daily, almost unnoticed habits. The way you spend your spare 5 minutes, the words you choose, the effort you put into something small, these are the quiet sculptors of your future. It's not always exciting or dramatic, but the real power, the true force that changes everything, lies in the steady, patient rhythm of little habits, building you, day by quiet day, into something meaningful. Chapter 933:7. Social media isn't real life. Have you ever scrolled through your phone looking at all the amazing things other people are doing? Perfect trips, perfect smiles, perfect everything. It's easy to feel like your own life isn't as exciting or pretty. But here's the thing. What you see online, that's not real life. Not really. Think about it like this. Social media is a stage. Everyone on it is like an actor in their own play. They show you the polished scenes, the moments where the spotlight shines brightest. They don't show you the flubbed lines, the messed-up costumes, or the hours of practice it took to get one scene right. It's like watching a movie trailer. A trailer only has the most exciting parts, right? It promises something grand, but it leaves out all the quiet moments, the slow parts, or the problems. Humans have always done this in a way. Even ancient people, when they had their portraits painted, they wanted to look their best, they wore their finest clothes, showed their proudest face. They weren't showing the everyday struggles of getting food or dealing with a messy tent. They were presenting an ideal version of themselves. Philosophers, even way back then, wondered about this idea of what's real versus what just looks real. They understood that appearances can be deceiving, and social media is built on appearances. It's a highlight reel, a collection of only the happiest, prettiest, most adventurous snippets. You see the perfect selfie, but you don't see the 20 blurry ones that were deleted. You see the amazing vacation photo, but not the lost luggage or the argument that happened before it was taken. So here's what I found. Comparing your ordinary, messy, beautiful real life to someone else's online best-of album is like comparing a whole living tree to just one perfect leaf pressed in a book. Real life is full of bumps and quiet moments.
And learning. It's not always a party, and that's okay. It's often in those unposted, messy, true moments that we really grow. So, remember that the next time you scroll. What matters most isn't how things look online, but how they truly feel in your own unfolding story. You can't buy happiness. We all have moments when we think, if only I had that new phone, or if I could just buy those cool shoes, I'd be truly happy. It's a common thought, isn't it? We see things we want, things that sparkle and promise something wonderful. And for a little while, maybe they do bring a kind of excitement. But here's the quiet, often overlooked truth. You can't actually buy happiness. Money can buy comfort, sure. It can buy experiences like a trip to an exciting place. It can buy you a fancy house or a fast car. But think about the deep, calm feeling of contentment, the genuine joy that settles in your chest. Can a credit card purchase truly deliver that? Ancient thinkers, people who lived thousands of years ago, wondered about this very thing. They didn't have big malls or online shopping, but they understood human nature. They suggested that true happiness, a lasting sense of peace, comes from within. It isn't something you can trade coins for or add to a shopping cart. It's not an item. Imagine you save up for weeks and finally buy that video game you've been dreaming of. The moment you get it, there's a rush, a thrill. You play it for hours, maybe days. But does that feeling last forever? Or compare that to spending an afternoon helping a neighbor, or truly connecting with a friend, sharing a deep conversation, or even just sitting quietly and watching the clouds. The game gives temporary fun. The connection, the quiet peace, the feeling of making a difference, those bring a different kind of warmth, one that stays with you long after the screen goes dark. True happiness isn't a possession. It's more like a quiet garden you grow inside yourself, nurtured by kindness, understanding, and shared moments. It's found not in what you acquire, but in how you live, how you connect, and how you choose to see the world around you. It's a feeling that blooms, not a price tag you find. Your thoughts aren't always true. Have you ever had a thought feel so real, so true, it settled deep inside you like a certainty? Maybe about yourself or a friend, or how something would turn out. Then, you found it wasn't true at all. Our minds are amazing. They're always working, creating stories to make sense of the world. But sometimes, these stories aren't facts. They're just ideas passing through. Think about this. For thousands of years, people believed the sun revolved around the earth. It felt true. It looked true every day as the sun moved. But thinkers like Copernicus and Galileo showed us differently. Powerful idea, not a solid fact. Imagine a dark room where a shadow looks exactly like a monster. Your mind quickly creates a scary story. Monster, danger. Your heart might race. But then you get closer, and it's just a coat on a hook. The shadow was real, but your thought about it being a monster was not. Your mind made a story from what it saw. This happens with feelings too. You might feel sad, and your mind tells you no one cares about you. That thought feels heavy. True. But is it? Or is it just a story because you're feeling down? Thoughts are often just echoes, not always the truth itself. So here's what it means. Just because you think or feel something strongly doesn't mean it's absolute truth. Look at your thoughts with distance. Ask, is this truly real? Or is this just my mind talking? This can help you feel lighter. You don't have to believe every thought that pops into your head. It gives you a quiet freedom.
Have you ever felt stuck?
Like nothing is going right. And it's always someone else's fault. Maybe a bad grade, a friendship falling apart, or just a rough day. It's easy to point fingers, right? To see the problem out there, somewhere else. But here's a really tough truth, one that nobody really wants to hear. Sometimes the biggest part of the problem is us. This isn't about blaming yourself in a mean way. It's about looking inward with honest eyes. Long ago, wise thinkers like the ancient Greeks had a famous saying, "Know thyself." They weren't just talking about knowing your favorite color or your favorite song. They meant truly understanding your own actions, your habits, how you react to things, and the patterns you fall into. It's about seeing how your own choices, big or small, can set things in motion, good or bad. Think about it like this. Imagine you're building a tower with blocks. If your own hand keeps shaking, or you keep placing blocks carelessly, the tower might fall. You can blame the blocks, or gravity, or the table. But the wobbly hand is part of the story. Or, consider a group project at school. If you don't do your part, or you argue constantly, the project might struggle. You could say the project itself is hard, or your teammates are difficult. But your contribution, or lack of it, plays a role. In psychology, they talk about locus of control. This just means where you believe control over events lies. If it's always outside you, you feel helpless. But if you see some control inside yourself, that's where change begins. It's hard to admit this, to look at your own part in a difficult situation. But here's the thing. Understanding your own role isn't about feeling bad. It's about finding your power. When you see how you contribute, you also see where you can make different choices. And that's where real change can start. And accepting that while you might not cause everything, you can always choose how you respond. Son, growing pains are a real thing. Ever feel a strange ache inside, not in your body, but in your thoughts, like a favorite shirt that suddenly feels too tight? Here's the thing. Those are like growing pains, but for your mind and heart. It's the way you stretch and shift as you get bigger, not just in height, but in who you are and how you see the world. Think about old stories or what older family members might say. People have always known that growing up isn't easy. Ancient Greek thinkers, for instance, saw struggles not as something to avoid, but as a way to get stronger. Like a sculptor shaping clay, the discomfort isn't a mistake. It's part of how you become more, how you learn to stand firm and figure out what you truly believe. This can help you understand why change often feels awkward. Imagine a tiny seedling pushing through hard ground. It takes huge effort to crack the soil and stretch towards the sun. It doesn't just become a strong tree easily. That pushing and stretching is the hard part, but it makes the tree strong enough for storms later. Or think about learning a new skill, like a hard song on an instrument. Your fingers might fumble, your brain might feel tired. But each clumsy note, each mistake builds new connections. It's making you better. So when life feels uncomfortable or things seem a little off, remember, it might just be your inner self doing some serious stretching. It's not a sign you're broken or doing something wrong. It's simply a quiet signal that something new is taking shape inside you, something bigger. And that's perfectly okay. It's a natural part of your journey, a quiet ache that shows you're becoming the amazing person you are meant to be.
Some growing pains or outgrow some friends. Have you ever felt a quiet shift in some of your friendships? It's like one day someone you were super close with just feels different. Not bad, just not quite the same. Here's the thing. As we grow, we change. We're all on our own paths. Sometimes those paths run right next to each other. You share secrets, jokes, and talks. But quietly, your path might curve one way, and there's another. You start liking different things, caring about different ideas, or dreaming about different futures. This isn't anyone's fault. It's just how life works. A Greek thinker named Heraclitus long ago said, "You can't step into the same river twice. The water is always moving, always new." People are like that river. We are constantly flowing, becoming new versions of ourselves. When you and a friend are like two separate rivers that once flowed side by side, it's natural for your currents to take you in different directions. Imagine two tiny plants. They share the same sun and soil for a while, but one might need more shade, the other direct light. One becomes a tall oak, the other a wide maple. They are still beautiful, but their needs and growth patterns differ. It doesn't mean their early closeness wasn't real, just that they're growing into their unique selves. When a friendship feels like an old shirt that no longer fits, it can be sad. There might be loss. But here's what I've found. It's also a sign of your own growth. You are moving forward, learning, becoming more truly yourself. Letting go makes space for new connections, new understandings, and new parts of your story to unfold. It's a quiet truth, a gentle reminder that life is always in motion, and so are we. Rumway, some lessons just plain hurt. Have you ever noticed how some lessons, the really important ones, don't feel like a light bulb turning on? Instead, they feel more like a bruise forming, slow and deep. Here's the thing, not all wisdom comes wrapped in a neat package. Sometimes, life teaches us through moments that sting or even ache. These aren't just mistakes, they're experiences that leave a mark because they force us to see something about ourselves, or about the world, that we didn't want to see. Even way back, ancient thinkers knew this. Think about it, many old stories, even myths, show heroes learning their biggest lessons through loss or challenge. They believe true understanding often comes from hardship. It's like how a sculptor has to chip away at a hard stone to reveal the art inside. The stone doesn't enjoy being chipped, but that's how it becomes something new and strong. Imagine you're trying to learn a new trick on a skateboard. You fall. A lot. Each time you scrape your knee or bruise your elbow, it hurts. You might even want to give up. But those falls, those moments of pain, actually teach you crucial things. Where to shift your weight, how to balance, when to bail out safely. Your body learns, not just your mind. It's a physical lesson, sure, but it also teaches resilience and perseverance. This isn't just about a skateboard. It's about learning from a harsh setback, even if it hurts. So, when life gives you a lesson that stings, try to remember it's not just punishment. It's often a deep, quiet sort of teaching. These difficult truths, the ones that make us uncomfortable, are often the ones that help us grow the most. They shape us, not by breaking us, but by showing us where we are strong and where we need to be more careful. It's a tough path, but it's how we truly understand what matters. Rumway, the past stays with you. Have you ever felt like something from a long time ago still shapes who you are today? Like a story you lived, even small parts of it, keeps whispering to you. Here's the thing. The past doesn't just disappear. It doesn't pack up its bags and leave. Instead, it weaves itself into the fabric of who we become. Every laugh, every stumble, every lesson, they settle deep inside us. They become part of our own personal history, like an invisible blueprint. Still part of the wall, holding it up. Ancient thinkers knew this. They saw memory not just as stored facts, but as something that forms our character. What happened yesterday, or even long before we were born, affects today. History isn't just dates, it's a living echo, shaping our world and how we think. Our family stories, our town's past, they all leave faint marks. It's like dropping a stone into a still pond. The stone sinks, out of sight,
but the ripples it made, they keep spreading out, touching the edges. In the same way, an experience, good or hard, sends out ripples in your mind and heart. Maybe a time you felt really proud helps you be brave later, or a difficult moment teaches you to be careful. Even when you don't think about it, those ripples are moving. They change how you see things, how you react, who you are right now. So, the past isn't just a memory, it's an ongoing presence. It doesn't mean you're stuck, but it does mean you carry its traces. Understanding this can help you see yourself more clearly. We are, in many ways, a living collection of all our yesterdays, and that's a powerful thought. It shows us how every single moment truly matters. Forgiveness is for your own good. Have you ever felt that heavy knot in your stomach, that tightness in your chest, when someone has truly hurt you? It's a natural feeling, wanting justice, wanting them to feel what you felt. But here's the thing about holding on to that anger, that bitterness. It's like clutching a hot coal, hoping the other person gets burned. You're the one getting scorched. Forgiveness isn't about excusing what someone did. It's not saying, "Oh, it's okay." It's about letting go of the pain they caused so you can heal. Think about ancient wisdom, like from philosophers long ago or spiritual leaders. They often talked about this idea. Not just as a nice thing to do, but as a path to inner peace. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and philosopher, once suggested that the best revenge is to not be like your enemy. It wasn't about being weak. It was about protecting your own mind from becoming twisted by hate. This idea has echoed through time, showing up in many different cultures and beliefs. Imagine you're carrying a backpack filled with rocks. Each rock is a past hurt, a grudge you haven't let go of. The longer you carry it, the heavier it gets, slowing you down, making every step harder. Maybe you trip, maybe you just get exhausted. Forgiveness, then, is like slowly taking those rocks out of your backpack. It doesn't erase the fact that you put them there, or that someone gave them to you, but it makes your journey lighter. It frees up your energy. In science, we know chronic stress, the kind that comes from constant anger, can actually hurt your body over time. It affects your heart, your sleep, even how you think. Letting go, therefore, isn't just good for your spirit. It's good for your brain and your body too. About forgiveness, it's not a gift you give to someone else, not really. It's a gift you give to yourself. It's choosing peace over poison, lightness over a heavy burden. It's a quiet act of self-care, allowing your own heart and mind to finally breathe free. It's recognizing that your well-being matters more than holding on to a hurt that only harms you. You can't change other people. Have you ever wished someone in your life was just a little different? Maybe a friend who always runs late, or a family member with a strong opinion you don't share. It's a natural feeling, wanting people we care about to act or think in ways that feel better to us. But here's the thing. You can't actually change other people. Their choices, their habits, their beliefs, these belong to them. Think about it like this. For thousands of years, wise thinkers have talked about what we can control and what we can't. The ancient Stoics, for example, simple people who lived long ago, believed we should focus our energy only on what's inside us, our own thoughts, actions, and reactions. Everything else, like other people's behavior or even the weather, is outside our control. Trying to force others to change is like trying to make the wind blow in a different direction. It's impossible, and it just makes you tired and frustrated. Imagine a sunflower. It needs sun and water to grow, and it will turn its face towards the light on its own. You can't make it grow faster by pulling on its stem, and you can't make it face north if it wants to face east. It just does what it's going to do, based on its own nature. People are a bit like that. They'll grow and change, or not, in their own time and their own way. We can offer sunlight and water, meaning kindness and support, but we can't force their growth or direction. So, when you find yourself wishing someone was different, take a breath.
Instead of trying to shift them, shift your own focus. Look at what you can control. Your own response, your own choices, your own path. Letting go of the need to change others frees up a lot of energy. It lets you accept people as they are, and it lets you put your effort into making yourself the best person you can be. That's where your true power lies. Bad days are going to happen. Have you ever woken up and before your feet even hit the floor, felt a heavy cloud hanging over you? Like the world just decided today was going to be an uphill climb no matter what. Here's the simple, honest truth. Some days will just be difficult. Not because you did anything wrong, or because you're somehow unlucky, but because that's part of the fabric of life itself. It's woven into the very pattern of being human. People have understood this for thousands of years. Think about ancient thinkers like the Stoics in old Greece and Rome. They taught that life is accept what you cannot control, the storm itself, and instead focus on how you respond to it. For them, and for us, hardship isn't a mistake. It's a natural season. Just like spring turns to summer, then autumn, then winter, our lives cycle through ease and difficulty. You wouldn't blame winter for being cold and gray, right? It's just what winter is. Consider the moon in the night sky. It doesn't always show its full, bright face. Sometimes it's a thin sliver, barely visible. Other times, it's completely hidden, swallowed by darkness. But even when you can't see it, the moon is still there, still moving, still a part of the vast sky. Your really tough days are a bit like that hidden moon phase. They are real, they can feel overwhelming, and they can make you feel lost. But they are also temporary. They don't mean you've disappeared or that your light has gone forever. So when those difficult days arrive, and they will, remember this: it's not a sign of failure or that something is wrong with you. It's just the natural ebb and flow of existence, a fundamental part of being alive. Allow yourself to feel the discomfort, but also hold on to the quiet knowing that, like all tides, the difficult moments will recede. And that's why it matters, because even in the deepest shadows, there is always the promise of light returning. No. Taking care of yourself isn't selfish. Have you ever felt a little guilty for needing a break, for saying no, or for simply taking time just for you? It's a common feeling, this idea that putting ourselves first is somehow selfish. But here's the thing: looking after yourself, truly, isn't selfish at all. It's actually a quiet strength. It's about making sure your own light stays bright so you can shine for others. For centuries, wise thinkers across different cultures have talked about the importance of balance. Ancient Greek philosophers, for instance, spoke of knowing yourself. They believed that understanding your own needs and limits was key. Only when you are in tune with yourself, they argued, can you truly contribute meaningfully to the world around you. It's not about ignoring others. It's about making sure you're strong enough to be there for them. Consider a simple analogy, an airplane safety demonstration. What's the first thing they tell you to do if the cabin loses pressure? Put on your own oxygen mask before helping anyone else, even a small child. Why? Because if you run out of air, you can't help anyone. Your body needs fuel, rest, and peace, just like that oxygen. When you neglect yourself, you become tired, easily frustrated, and less able to handle challenges. It's like trying to pour water from an empty cup. You have nothing left to give. So, taking care of yourself isn't about being greedy. It's about filling your own cup, so it overflows with energy, kindness, and patience. It's about building a strong foundation within yourself, truly present for your friends, your family, and your community. It lets you approach life's challenges not from a place of exhaustion, but from a quiet, steady resilience. Remember, a well-tended garden offers beauty and food to many. You too are a garden and worth nurturing. Your choices show who you are.
Have you ever thought about why you chose the shirt you're wearing today? Or why you picked a certain snack over another? These small things might seem unimportant, But here's the thing. Every single choice you make, big or small, quietly shapes who you are. It's not just about what you do, but what those actions reveal about your inner self. Long ago, thinkers like the Greek philosopher Aristotle believed this. He didn't say it in a complicated way, but simply suggested that we become what we repeatedly do. So if you choose kindness often, you become a kinder person. If you choose to work hard, you become someone who is determined. Your choices are like the brushstrokes on a painting. Each one adds a tiny detail, and eventually, the whole picture of you emerges. Think about it like building something, brick by brick. Imagine you're trying to build a small wall. Each time you decide to pick up a brick and place it carefully, you are making a choice. You could choose to put it in crooked or drop it or not even pick it up at all. But if you keep choosing to place them well, one by one, over time, you build a strong, straight wall. Your character, your true self, is built in much the same way. Every small decision, to be honest or to be brave or to keep trying, adds another solid brick to who you are becoming. So look closely at the choices you make each day. They are more than just actions in a moment. They are like quiet whispers about your beliefs, your values, and what truly matters to you. Each choice, big or small, leaves a mark on the path you are creating for yourself. They don't just show the world who you are, they actually create the person you will become.
Some things just end, and that's it. Have you ever noticed how some stories just stop? Not with a dramatic finish, but a quiet fade? Here's a heavy truth. Not everything in life has a neat, clear ending. Some friendships simply drift apart, no big fight. A hobby might just stop because your interest changed. It's not always about a reason or fault. Sometimes things just reach their natural end, like daylight giving way to night. We often look for explanations, but sometimes there isn't one. The chapter simply closes. Ancient thinkers like the Stoics understood impermanence. They saw that everything changes, everything passes. A flower blooms, then wilts. A river always flows. They taught that clinging too tightly or needing a reason for every end brings sadness. Acceptance brought peace. Ending is simply how the world works. Consider your favorite book series. You read every book, then the author finishes it. No more new stories. It simply ended. It wasn't bad, it just reached its final page. Or think about a season. Summer doesn't end with a battle, it just quietly turns into autumn. The warmth fades, leaves fall, and that's okay. Accepting that some things conclude without drama or explanation can be freeing. It reminds us to appreciate moments while they are here, because they are brief. Not every ending needs a reason. Not every goodbye needs words. Sometimes the quiet fade is just how life moves on, making space for whatever comes next. It's a natural part of being alive. 48mm. You'll be forgotten by some people. Have you ever thought about all the people you've met, even just for a moment? A cashier at a store, a kid you sat next to on a bus, or even a classmate from a few years ago. Here's a quiet truth. Some of those people, and even some who felt important at the time, will eventually forget you. And you will forget them too. It's not because anyone is mean or doesn't care. It's just how our minds work and how life moves. For a long time, people have tried to be remembered forever. Think about ancient pharaohs building huge pyramids or great artists creating timeless works. They wanted to leave a mark that would last beyond their own lives. But even the grandest statues crumble a little, and even the most famous names eventually become just words in a book, less alive in our daily thoughts. It teaches us something about how memory works. Think about your first day of middle school, or even 5th grade. You met so many new faces, learned so many new names. Now, can you remember every single one? Probably not. Your brain is always making new connections, like building new paths in a forest. The old paths, like those you don't walk often, start to fade and get covered by new growth. It's not that the paths weren't real or important once. It's just that new ones have become more important for where you are going now. This idea can feel a little sad at first, knowing you won't be remembered by everyone. But here's what else it means. It makes the memories that do stick, the people who do remember you, even more special. It reminds us to cherish the connections we have right now. The moments you share, the laughter, the quiet understanding, those are what truly matter in the present. Because even if the memory of you fades for some, the impact you had, however small, still exists in the fabric of the world, in the way you touched someone's day, even just once. And that's a kind of remembering all its own. 53. Life isn't like the movies. Do you ever find yourself watching a movie, feeling that pull, that wish, for your own life to be just like the one on screen? Movies give us stories wrapped up neatly, with perfect endings and clear heroes. But here's the thing about real life. It rarely works that way. People have told stories forever. Think back to ancient myths or old folk tales. Many didn't have clean heroes, sometimes failed. Lessons were hard-won. It's in newer times with big screens that stories got polished into these perfect dreams. We started expecting life to follow those neat scripts. But life isn't a script. It's more like a long, winding walk through a forest you've never seen before. The paths aren't always clear, and sometimes you get lost. Consider how we learn anything. Imagine trying to master a new skill, like playing a song on the guitar. In a movie, the character picks it up, strums a few times, and boom, they're a rock star. But in your own life, it's slow, often frustrating practice. It's sour notes, mistakes, trying again. You don't just get it in one inspiring montage. No sudden music swells to tell us how to feel. Life doesn't offer a director to shout, "Cut," when things get tough. It's a vast, unpredictable ocean, not a painted stage. And maybe that's okay. Maybe the true wonder lies not in a perfect ending, but in the messy, brave, real journey we're actually on. It's about finding the beauty in the ordinary days, the quiet moments, and the unwritten chapters that are truly yours. There's no one perfect path. Have you ever felt like there's a secret map to life, and everyone else got a copy but you? Like there's one perfect way to grow up, to learn, to find happiness? It's a common feeling. But here's the thing, that map doesn't exist. There isn't one perfect road for everyone. Life is not a single, paved highway. It's more like a vast, wild landscape with countless trails. Each person walks their own unique route. Your path might twist and turn, go uphill, then dip into a valley. It won't look exactly like your friends or your older siblings. And that's not just okay, it's how it's meant to be. Think about ancient forests. People have walked through them for centuries. Did everyone take the exact same route? No. Some followed a river, others climbed a ridge. Each journey was real and important. It's the same with your life. One person might find their passion early. Another might explore many different subjects before something clicks. There's no single, best way to build a life. Imagine reaching a clearing in that forest. One person might use a well-worn trail, getting there quickly. Another might wander off trail, discovering new things, taking longer but seeing more. Both reached the clearing. The goal was met, but the experience was entirely different. The value wasn't just in arriving, but in the journey itself. Your brain, for example, learns in different ways. Some understand math by seeing pictures, others by doing problems. All these ways lead to understanding. So, what does this mean for you? It means you can breathe out a little. The pressure to find the one true path can be heavy, but knowing there isn't one, tools you use to carve your own distinct journey. Trust your own steps. Your path is yours alone, and that makes it incredibly powerful. Everyone has their own hard stuff. Have you ever looked at someone's life and thought, wow, they seem to have it all together? Maybe they always get good grades, or they're popular, or just seem happy all the time. It's easy to feel like everyone else has it easy. But here's the thing. Everyone has their own hard stuff. Every single person. Their struggles might not be the kind you can see,
They carry burdens or face battles totally invisible to the outside world. Maybe it's a quiet worry or a challenge at home no one talks about. Sometimes, the person who smiles the brightest is also dealing with the most behind the scenes. This idea isn't new. Wise people have long understood that even powerful leaders, or those who appeared to have everything, still had secret worries. It's an old truth. Life gives hidden challenges to everyone, no matter how perfect their life looks. Think about it like an iceberg in the ocean. You only see a small part of it sticking out of the water. But below the surface, there's a giant chunk of ice you can't see. Most of the iceberg is hidden. People are kind of like that. You see their surface, the part they choose to show the world. But there's a huge, unseen part beneath, full of their own fears, quiet hopes, and daily struggles. What does this mean for us? It means we can be kinder, more understanding. When we remember that everyone is carrying their own invisible load, it helps us be more patient with others. It reminds us we're all connected by this shared human experience of trying our best, even when things are hard and no one else sees it. Not everything is about you. Have you ever felt like everything happening somehow connects back to you? Like the world is watching your every move, or that every small event is meant just for you? It's a natural feeling, really. When we're young, our own experiences are so big and new. It's easy to think we're at the very center of everything. But here's the quiet truth. Most of the time, the world isn't thinking about us at all. Think about the night sky. For thousands of years, people imagined stars revolved around Earth. From our small viewpoint, it seemed that way. The sun rose and set, the moon changed, and it all felt made for us. But then, thinkers like Copernicus and Galileo showed us something different. They showed us Earth is just one planet, spinning around a much larger sun. That sun is one star among billions. Our tiny blue home is not the center of the universe. This wasn't to make us feel small, but to help us understand our true place, part of something vast and beautiful, not the whole point of it. Imagine you're walking down a busy school hallway. Someone bumps into you. Your first thought might be, were they trying to get me? Did I do something wrong? But the other person probably just wasn't looking. Lost in thoughts about a test or hungry for lunch. Their action wasn't about you. It was about their own journey. Most people are caught up in their own stories, their own challenges. They are the main characters in their own lives, just as you are in yours. This understanding can bring a kind of peace. It means you don't have to carry the weight of everything. Not every silence is a judgment. Not every closed door is a rejection of you. Sometimes, things just happen, independently of us, and that's okay. It frees us to truly see others, and to appreciate our connection to the world, not as its center, but as one beautiful, vital part of its grand, ongoing story. You have to work for what you want. Have you ever wished for something so much it felt like it should just appear? Like a perfect grade without studying, or a new skill without practice. It's a nice thought, isn't it? That things could just fall into place, easy and soft. But here's the harsh truth about life. Most things worth having, the truly deep, lasting ones, don't just happen. You have to build them. You have to work for them. People have known this for thousands of years. The ancient farmers didn't just wish for a harvest. They tilled the soil. They planted seeds. They cared for their crops day after day. Even wise thinkers from long ago, like those in ancient Greece, talked about how true happiness wasn't given. It was earned. It came from making good choices, from building character over time. It was a journey, not a simple gift. Here's an analogy. Imagine a tiny seed. It holds the dream of a mighty tree inside. But that tree doesn't just burst forth. The seed needs soil, water, sunlight. It pushes roots deep down and branches up towards the light. It fights against the wind and cold. Each day, it grows a little, slowly, steadily. This might seem like a lot of effort for something that eventually looks so natural and strong. But that strength, that beauty, comes from all the quiet, unseen work. It's the same with your own dreams. If you want to master a difficult song on guitar, you practice chords until your fingers ache. If you want to truly understand a complicated subject, you read, you question, you think, even when it's hard. And that's why it matters. The effort isn't a punishment. It's the very thing that makes what you achieve real, solid, and truly yours. It's what makes you grow. And in that growth, there's a quiet pride that no instant gift could ever bring. Leave. True strength is asking for help. Have you ever felt like you had to carry everything on your own? Like asking for help would make you seem weak? It's a common thought. This idea that real strength means never needing anyone, being a lone wolf. But here's the truth. That's not strength at all. True strength. Different cultures have understood this. Ancient Greek thinkers, for instance, spoke about how people grow stronger within communities. They knew no single person holds all answers. Even the toughest heroes in old stories, if you look closely, usually had a trusted guide who helped them. It was never about being perfect. It was about knowing when to lean on others. Imagine building a huge, complicated Lego castle by yourself. You might get stuck, frustrated, searching for tiny pieces. But what if you asked a friend for a fresh pair of eyes? Suddenly, tricky parts become easier. You don't lose your building skills. Instead, you build something bigger, better, with less stress. This is how life works. When you ask for help with a hard problem or talk about something bothering you, you're not giving up. You're showing deep wisdom. It takes courage to say, "I need a hand." It takes courage to admit struggle. But in that moment of asking, you open a door. You invite connection, understanding, and new paths into your life. You learn that the heaviest burdens become lighter, not when you carry them alone, but when you share the weight. And that is a powerful kind of strength that will always help you grow. You are more than your grades. Have you ever stared at a report card, maybe at a grade, and felt like that single letter or number somehow summed you up? Like it was the whole story of who you are? It's not. Not even close. Grades are like a single snapshot taken on a very specific day. They tell you how well you did on a test or an assignment, and that's useful. But they can't capture the way your mind glows when you figure something out, or the kindness you show a friend who's struggling. They don't measure your deep curiosity, or your ability to tell a great story, or how you can make people laugh. Long ago, thinkers like the ancient Greeks believed in something called arete. It meant excellence, not just in studying, but in every part of life. Being brave, a good citizen, a true friend. They knew that human worth was vast, stretching far beyond what you could learn in a classroom. It was about how you lived, how you treated others, and the unique spirit you brought. Think about a forest. When you look at a tree, you don't just see its height. You see its strong trunk, its branches reaching for the light, the tiny insects on its bark, the birds in its leaves. You might even imagine its deep roots hidden beneath the earth, anchoring it. A tree's true value isn't just one measurement. It's the whole living system, how it stands through time, how it adds beauty and life. You are like that. You are made of so much more than what can be measured on a test. There's your unique way of thinking, your empathy, your resilience. There's the person you are becoming, full of potential. So try to remember that your worth is not a grade. It is the wide, open sky of your possibilities and the quiet, steady beat of your own heart. Laugh slightly takes into you. Your looks will change over time. Have you ever really thought about how you look right now? We spend so much time looking in mirrors, picking out clothes, thinking about our hair. It feels like this is you. But here's the thing. How you look today won't be how you look forever. It's a quiet, constant truth most of us don't really want to hear. Our bodies are amazing, always shifting, always new. Think about a river. The old Greek thinker Heraclitus once said, "You can't step into the same river twice." Why? Because the water is always flowing, always moving on. Your body is a bit like that river. The cells that make up your skin, your hair, even your eyes, they are always changing, dying off, and being replaced. Almost every cell in your body is new in about 7 years. So, the you from a few years ago isn't exactly the you today, down to the tiny cells. Imagine your favorite t-shirt. When you first got it, it was bright, and crisp. But after many washes, it softens, maybe fades a little, gets a tiny hole. It's still your favorite t-shirt, right? But it's different. It has stories. Your appearance is like that. Over time, your face will get new lines. Your hair color might shift. Your body shape will evolve. This isn't just about getting older. It's about small changes every single day. So, if our outer self is always moving, always becoming something new, what does that mean? It means the real you isn't just about what you see in the mirror. It's about what you learn, how you grow, the kindness you show. Those things don't fade or change. They become stronger. They are the parts that truly last. You can't please everyone all the time. Have you ever tried hard to make everyone around you happy? It's natural to want to be liked, to avoid upsetting anyone. Maybe you've said yes when you wanted to say no, just to keep the peace. You might twist yourself into knots, changing your thoughts, actions, even your true self, trying to fit every expectation. But here's the thing. Trying to make everyone happy all the time is like trying to catch smoke. It's an impossible task, leaving you tired and unseen. For centuries, people have wrestled with this idea. Even ancient thinkers knew that people would always have different thoughts, desires, and ideas of what is good. It's not a new problem. Imagine the world as a colorful mosaic. Each person is a unique tile, shining with their own color and shape. If every tile tried to change its color to match others, the whole picture would lose its beauty. Applies to bigger parts of life. Our opinions, choices, and paths. So, what does this quiet truth tell us? It tells us our worth isn't found in how many people we can make smile. It's found in being true to the unique tile you are, in shining your own authentic color. When you stop chasing everyone else's approval, you make space to understand and accept yourself. It's a journey towards quiet strength, realizing it's okay for some people to prefer soup, and it's okay for you to love pizza. Finding peace in that simple difference is a powerful step towards living a life that feels honest and truly yours. Mistakes are your best teachers. Have you ever made a mistake so big it made your stomach drop? That moment you wish you could just rewind time. Everyone has. It's easy to feel bad, to think of it as a failure, something to be ashamed of. But what if those moments, those stumbles, are secret guides? What if the path to truly understanding and growing is paved with all the things we got wrong first? It sounds strange, but here's the thing. A mistake isn't an end. It's a signpost. It tells you, this way didn't work, try another path. Think about history. Great inventions didn't just appear perfectly formed. Thomas Edison, for the light bulb, tried thousands of materials. He famously said he didn't fail. He just found 10,000 ways that didn't work. His mistakes weren't setbacks, they were steps forward. Each wrong answer got him closer to the right one. Ancient thinkers also knew this. True wisdom often comes from questioning what we thought was true, from testing ideas and seeing where they fall short. It's like learning to ride a skateboard. You fall. Maybe you scrape your knee. That scrape isn't just pain, it's information. It teaches you to shift your weight differently, to bend your knees, to balance. Without those falls, you wouldn't learn the subtle movements needed to glide smoothly. Each wobble, each tumble builds your skill. Or think about a video game. You lose a level, but you learn the enemy patterns, the best way to jump. You don't quit, you try again, smarter. So, when a mistake happens, don't just feel the sting. Look closely. What did it teach you? What new way of thinking did it open up? Our errors aren't things to hide. They are the painful architects of our future selves. They chip away at what doesn't work, leaving behind a stronger, wiser you. And that's why they matter so much. It's okay to start all over. Have you ever felt like you've built something, a project, a friendship, or even just a plan for your day, and it just fell apart? Or maybe it just wasn't right. That feeling, that moment when you realize you need a complete redo, can be scary. But here's the thing. It's absolutely okay to start all over. They knew that life isn't a single, straight line. Instead, it's a series of moments, always moving. Ancient philosophers often talked about how we can always choose our next action, no matter what came before. They believed every morning was a chance to begin again, to set aside yesterday's worries and focus on the present. It's like how the sun rises fresh each day, washing away the night, offering a brand new start. Think about a video game. Maybe you're on a tough level and you make a bunch of mistakes or you pick the wrong strategy. You don't give up on the whole game, right? You just hit restart. You go back to the beginning of that level, maybe with a little more knowledge, ready to try a different approach. You still have all your skills, all your energy, but now you have a fresh chance to get it right. And that's why it matters in life. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do isn't to stubbornly push through something that's broken. The real strength is in recognizing when to pause, to breathe, and to bravely decide, okay, this path isn't working, I'm going to find a new one. Life gives you so many chances to start again. You don't have to carry your past mistakes like heavy bags. You can always set them down and walk forward lighter, ready for your next brand new beginning. Not every story has a happy ending. Have you ever noticed how many stories we love, especially in movies or books, end with everything perfectly tied up? The hero always wins, the problem always gets solved. We call that a happy ending. But here's the thing about real life. It doesn't always work like that. Sometimes, despite our best efforts, things don't turn out the way we hoped. This idea isn't new. People have known this for a long time. Think about old myths, not the cartoon versions. In ancient Greek stories, heroes often faced sad fates. Even brave warriors like Achilles had tragic endings. And many folk tales, the ones told long before books, often had bittersweet or even difficult conclusions. They taught people that life has its share of sorrow, alongside joy. They understood that not every struggle ends in total victory, and sometimes a journey just leads to a different place than expected. Imagine you and your friends work really hard on a big group project for weeks. You put in extra hours, you study, you double-check everything. You're sure you'll get the top grade, a perfect A+. But then, it doesn't happen. Maybe you get a good grade, but not the perfect one you dreamed of. Or maybe something unexpected goes wrong, and the result isn't what you expected at all. That feeling? That's what it means when a story doesn't have a perfectly happy ending. It doesn't mean your effort was wasted. It just means life is sometimes messy and unpredictable. And that's okay. It's okay to feel disappointed when things don't go your way. Learning that not everything wraps up neatly can actually make you stronger. It teaches you. It teaches about resilience, about picking yourself up, and about finding value in the journey itself, even if the destination isn't what you imagined. That's a powerful lesson to carry with you. Yet, life isn't fair, and that's okay. Have you ever felt like things just aren't fair? Like someone else gets an easier path or a better break, and you're left wondering why? It's a feeling we all know, a quiet hum in the back of our minds. Here's the thing, life truly isn't fair, and that's not a complaint, but a deep, calm truth we learn to accept. Think about it. We don't choose where we're born, or who our family is, or what talents we might have. Some people are born into incredible privilege, others into extreme hardship. The universe doesn't hand out equal starting points, like a teacher giving everyone the same perfect pencil. It just doesn't work that way. Ancient thinkers like the Stoics talked about accepting what you can't control. They knew thousands of years ago that worrying about unfairness doesn't change it. Instead, they focused on what they could control, their own actions and reactions. Imagine two trees planted on the same day. One gets perfect sunlight and rich soil, growing tall and strong without effort. The other is on a rocky patch, getting less sun, facing harsher winds. It has to struggle, send its roots deep,
fight for every bit of growth. Is it fair? No. But here's what happens. The tree that struggled often develops tougher wood, a deeper root system. It might not be as showy, but it is strong. It learned how to survive and thrive despite its conditions, not because of perfect ones. This might sound a little sad, but here's why it actually matters. When we stop expecting life to be fair, we free ourselves. We stop wasting energy wishing things were different. Instead, we can look at our own path, with all its bumps and challenges, and ask, what can I do with this? How can I grow here? Accepting life's unevenness lets us focus on our own strength, our own choices. It's about finding peace not in things being equal, but in finding our own way, no matter what we're given. And that's a powerful kind of calm. You need might be, isn't a wide today by once up tapting. You'll doubt yourself sometimes. Have you ever felt a small, quiet doubt creep into your mind? It might be about something big, like a dream you have, or something small, like wondering if you can really finish that tricky homework assignment. Here's the thing. Everyone, absolutely everyone, feels doubt. It's a natural part of being human. It isn't a sign of weakness. Instead, it's like a quiet question our own minds ask us. For thousands of years, people have thought about this feeling. Ancient thinkers, just like modern psychologists, knew that sometimes we question our own abilities. It's part of how we learn and grow. When we doubt, our brains are often trying to make sense of something new or challenging. It's like enough. Think about an artist starting a new painting. They might have a grand idea in their head, but as they pick up the brush, a tiny voice might ask, "Can I really make this vision come alive on the canvas?" Or, "Is my skill good enough?" This isn't a sign they can't paint. It's just a moment of honest reflection. That doubt often pushes them to try harder, to focus, to learn a new technique. It makes the final artwork even stronger because it was truly wrestled into being. So when doubt comes, don't see it as a stop sign. See it as a pause, a moment to reflect. It's a chance to look deeper inside yourself. Sometimes, it means you need to learn more or practice more. Other times, it's just a feeling that passes, reminding you that facing challenges means feeling uncertain sometimes. It's okay to feel it, and that's why it matters. Doubt can be a quiet guide, leading you not away from your path but through it. Have you ever found yourself waiting for something huge to happen? Like a big event, a major change, or a sudden flash that makes everything click? It's easy to think life's most important parts are these grand, dramatic moments. But here's the thing. Often, the deepest truths, the real shaping of who we are, happens in quiet, tiny moments we barely notice. Think about it. A giant oak tree starts from a small acorn. It doesn't become mighty overnight. It grows through countless days of sun and rain, tiny stretches and small changes, moment by moment. Ancient thinkers like the Stoics talked about this idea. They taught that true strength and wisdom don't come from one big victory, but from everyday choices, the small habits we build. It's about being present in small acts. A kind word, a quiet thought, a single step. Consider your own day. Maybe it's 5 minutes just looking out the window, noticing the sky. Or a short talk with a friend that makes you both laugh. It could be quiet focus when you're drawing, or the calm from a few deep breaths before a test. These aren't big events, but they are like tiny drops of water slowly filling a bucket, or invisible threads weaving into strong, beautiful fabric. And that's why it matters. Life isn't always about fireworks. It's often about the gentle, steady glow of a candle. All those small, unnoticed seconds add up to everything. They build our character, shape our perspective, and define our happiness. So if you're always waiting for the huge, life-altering moment, you might be missing the countless tiny ones quietly, powerfully, changing you right now. Look closely. They are there. What if true bravery isn't about not feeling afraid? We often think brave people feel nothing, like heroes in movies who never flinch. But here's the thing. Real courage isn't the absence of fear.
Anyway, think about it. For thousands of years, people have understood this. Ancient philosophers, those deep thinkers of the past, didn't say to get rid of fear. Instead, they talked about facing fear directly. They knew that true strength wasn't about being fearless, but about moving forward even when your heart was pounding. A brave knight in an old story wasn't without fear. He was terrified before battle, but he still rode out to protect his people. He didn't enjoy being scared. He just didn't let the fear stop him from doing what needed to be done. History is filled with countless examples of people who felt deeply afraid, but still stood up for what was right, or dared to try something completely new. They didn't magically switch off their fear like a light. Here's an example that might work for you. Imagine you have to give a presentation in class, and your hands are shaking, your voice feels tight. That feeling is fear. But if you walk to the front of the room, take a deep breath and begin talking, that's bravery. Or maybe you really want to try out for a school play, but you're scared of messing up the lines or forgetting them. If you still go to the audition, even with wobbly knees and a dry mouth, that's bravery. It's like a small, determined plant pushing its way through a tiny crack in the pavement. The concrete is a huge, hard obstacle. The plant doesn't wish the concrete wasn't there. It just finds a way to grow despite the difficulty. It chooses to reach for the light. So don't wish away your fears. They are a natural part of being human. They can be like a signal, telling you something important is happening, something that matters. The truly brave choice isn't to silence that signal. Instead, it's to listen to it, understand why you feel it, and then decide to move forward, one small step at a time. Bravery isn't some rare superpower. It's a quiet, everyday decision you make over and over again, to keep going even when you'd much rather run and hide. And that's why it matters, because every single one of us can choose to be brave. Your feelings are strong, but not always right. Have you ever felt something so strongly, so deeply, that it simply had to be true? Our feelings are like powerful currents. They rush through us, guiding us, warning us, connecting us to the world. And that's good. They are important. But here's the harsh truth. Just because a feeling is strong doesn't mean it's always right. It doesn't mean it's telling the whole, true story. Long ago, thinkers like the ancient Greeks wondered about this. They asked, are our emotions always accurate? Or does something else, like clear thinking, help us see reality better? They believed our minds could help us check what our hearts felt, helping us find balance. Think about this. Imagine you see a group of friends whispering and glancing your way. Instantly, a hot, tight feeling washes over you. You might think, they're talking about me. They don't like me. That feeling feels so real, so hurtful. But what if they were just sharing a secret about a movie? Or maybe one friend was showing another a text message about something totally unrelated to you. Your feeling was intense, sure, but it wasn't the truth. It was a story your brain quickly made up, fueled by a powerful emotion. This doesn't mean your feelings are bad. They are signals, important parts of who you are. But sometimes, like a blurry image, they can be distorted. Knowing this, that even deep feelings can sometimes mislead us, gives us a quiet strength. It lets us pause. It lets us ask, what else might be true here? This pause, this simple question, allows us to choose how we respond. It means we can listen to our feelings, yes, but also gently question them, guiding ourselves toward a calmer, clearer path. You can't escape what you do. Have you ever wondered if the things we do, big or small, truly just vanish into thin air? Or do they stay with us somehow, like a quiet echo? Here's the thing. Our actions, our words, even our choices don't just disappear. They build up, creating a path behind us that we can't erase. Think about it like this. Every step you take leaves a footprint. You might not see it forever, but it was there. Ancient thinkers from many cultures understood this deeply. They talked about things like karma, not as a punishment, but as a simple truth. What you put out into the world comes back to you. It's the idea that every cause has an effect, like a stone dropped in a pond. The ripples spread out, and eventually, they touch the shore. It's not about blame, but about understanding that our lives are woven from the threads of our own making. Here's an example. Imagine you have a garden, or even just a small pot plant. If you only water it with kindness and sunlight, it will grow strong and beautiful. But if you neglect it or fill its soil with salty water, it will wither. Our character works the same way. If you consistently choose to be unreliable, missing homework or not showing up when you promised, people will eventually stop trusting you. That consequence isn't a sudden punishment. It's the natural outcome of those small choices adding up over time. You might try to ignore it, but the impact of those actions on your friendships or your reputation will always be there, shaping your reality. So this harsh truth isn't meant to scare you. Instead, it's a gentle reminder. It tells us that our power lies in our choices, right now, because the person we become and the world we live in is largely a reflection of what we've done. And that reflection, for better or worse, is something we carry with us always. It reminds us to be thoughtful, to choose wisely, and to understand that our future is being built, one action at a time. The world keeps on turning. Have you ever had one of those days? The kind where everything feels
Sad happened, or you just feel really down. For a moment, it feels like the whole world should stop, right? Like time should pause because your heart is hurting, or you just don't know what to do next. But here's the thing. It doesn't. The world keeps moving. The sun still rises, even after the longest, darkest night. The clock keeps ticking. Think about it. For thousands of years, people have felt joy and sorrow, faced big challenges and small heartbreaks. And every single time the seasons changed, the tides pulled, and the stars continued their silent dance. This idea, that life has its own rhythm, separate from our feelings, has been around forever. It's a harsh truth because your pain, no matter how real, doesn't halt the world for you. Imagine you had a really rough soccer game. You missed the winning shot, and you feel terrible. Your mind might replay that moment. But when you walk out of the stadium, cars are still driving, people are still going home, the streetlights will still flicker on. Even the earth, spinning on its axis, doesn't slow down because you're having a bad day. It keeps orbiting the sun, steady and constant. And that's why it matters. It's not meant to make your feelings seem small. It just means life, in its vastness, has this powerful, endless momentum. It moves on, carrying everyone. And maybe, in that steady forward motion, there's a quiet kind of hope. Because if the world keeps turning, new moments, new possibilities, and new beginnings are always arriving. It means there's always a next step, even when you don't know what it is yet. Number 1, good things take a lot of time. Have you ever wished for something amazing, right now, like magic? Maybe you've wanted to master a new skill, or finish a big project, or even just grow into the person you hope to be. But here's the quiet truth. Really good things, the ones that truly matter, almost always ask for a lot of time. They don't just appear. They unfold slowly, like a seed becoming a mighty tree. Think about the great thinkers from long ago, like the ancient Greeks. They understood that wisdom wasn't something you just learned from a book overnight. It was a journey. You had to live, make mistakes, reflect, and keep asking questions. Or consider the stunning cathedrals built centuries ago. No one person built them. Generations worked on them, brick by patient brick, year after year. They knew what they were creating was bigger than any single lifetime. They understood true grandeur takes ages to form. It's kind of like learning to play a musical instrument, maybe the guitar or piano. When you first start, your fingers feel clumsy, the notes sound a bit off. You might get frustrated, but you keep practicing, a little bit each day. You learn scales, then chords, then simple songs. Days turn into weeks, weeks into months. Slowly, almost without you noticing, your fingers find their rhythm, your mind connects with the music, and one day, you play something beautiful. Something that truly sounds like music, not just noise. That didn't happen in an afternoon. It was built with hundreds of small efforts, stacked on top of each other. So, maybe the lesson here is patience. It's about respecting the process, the slow, steady hum of growth. The best parts of life, the deepest joys, the truest skills, they are like hidden treasures. They reveal themselves not to those who rush, but to those who are willing to wait, to nurture, and to keep showing up, even when the path feels long. And that's okay, because what takes time to build also tends to last. French being kind is always a choice. Have you ever stopped to think if being kind just happens? Like a feeling that washes over you, or a reflex you can't control? Here's a tough truth, but an important one to understand. Kindness isn't something that simply appears. It's an active decision, every single time. This means that in any moment, when you're faced with a choice about how to react, you have options. You could be impatient, or easily annoyed, or maybe you could just look away. But the choice to be kind means you deliberately choose a different path. It's a pause, a moment where you decide to respond with care, even when it might be easier not to. Ancient thinkers, like the Greek philosopher Aristotle, spent a lot of time talking about virtues. These were good qualities, like courage or honesty or kindness. They believed you weren't born with these things perfectly formed. Instead, they were habits. You had to practice them. Being kind for them wasn't just a nice feeling. It was something you worked at, a choice you made over and over until it became a part of who you are. It's not about being perfect, but about consistently choosing to act with goodness. Think of it like this. Imagine dropping a single pebble into a very calm pond. That small stone creates ripples that spread out, touching the water far beyond where the pebble first landed. Your choice to be kind is a lot like that pebble. Maybe you see someone struggling to carry a heavy load, and you choose to offer help. Maybe a friend is having a really tough day, and instead of brushing them off, you choose to listen with your whole attention. Or perhaps you simply choose to speak gently when you could have raised your voice. Each one of those small, deliberate acts sends out its own ripple. Our brains can be quick to react, sometimes with frustration or anger. But we also have this amazing power to pause, to think, and to choose how we want to show up in the world. So the harsh truth is, if we aren't kind, it's not because we couldn't be. It's because, in that moment, we made a different choice. And that means every day, in every interaction, we hold a quiet, powerful tool. The ability to make things a little softer, a little brighter, simply by choosing kindness. It's a powerful thought, but it's also full of quiet hope. You'll disappoint yourself. Sometimes, have you ever looked in the mirror, or just looked at your day, and felt a quiet sigh deep inside? Like you thought you'd do one thing, be one way, but instead something different happened. That feeling, that heavy little drop in your stomach, is disappointment. Not from someone else, but from yourself. It's a strange and often lonely feeling. We set goals, big or small. Maybe we decide to get an A on a tough test. Maybe we promise ourselves we'll try out for the school play or finally learn that difficult song on guitar. We picture ourselves succeeding. We see the finish line. But sometimes, despite our best intentions, we don't quite get there. The A doesn't happen. We get too nervous for tryouts. The guitar gathers dust. And here's the thing. People have understood this feeling for a very, very long time. For thousands of years, thinkers have known that being human means we're imperfect. They understood that we often fall short of the ideals we set for ourselves. It's a part of our journey, this gap between who we want to be and who we are in a single moment. Think about it like this. Imagine you decide to build a really cool Lego castle. You have a grand vision in your head. Towers, drawbridges, everything perfect. You start building, but halfway through, maybe you run out of a certain brick, or the design is harder than you thought, and it doesn't look exactly like your amazing vision. You might feel a little disappointed with your own work, even if it's still a pretty good castle. That feeling is real. But here's what I found. This disappointment, while it stings, actually teaches us. It shows us where we need to try differently next time. It shows us what truly matters to us. It reminds us to be kind to ourselves, just as we would be to a friend who didn't quite reach their goal. It's not about giving up. It's about understanding that growth isn't a straight line. It's a winding path, and sometimes you learn the most from the moments you let yourself down. And that's okay. There's no life manual.
Have you ever felt like you missed an important memo, like everyone else got a secret rule book for life, but you didn't? It's a strange feeling. The truth is, no one ever got that book. Think about it. A new phone comes with instructions. Building a model needs steps. Even cooking a meal needs a recipe. But for life itself, for growing up, making choices, dealing with hurt, finding joy, there's no guide, no clear map, no exact instructions. We are born without a how-to manual. For thousands of years, people have searched for this missing manual. Ancient Greek thinkers like Plato asked how to live well. They wondered about purpose, happiness, right and wrong. Wise elders in every culture shared stories and lessons. They knew life doesn't come with easy answers. They knew we all figure things out, bit by bit. They learned by living, messing up and trying again. It's a lot like learning to ride a bike. No matter how many times someone tells you how to balance, you only truly learn by getting on and trying. You fall, scrape your knees, get back up. No manual can make you ride. The experience itself is the teacher. Life works the same way. We learn not from a printed guide, but from falling, from getting back up, from the bumps and turns. And maybe that's okay. Maybe no manual isn't a flaw, but a gift. It means our path is truly our own. We get to write our own story, one messy, beautiful day at a time. It means finding our own answers, even when it feels hard. In that search, we discover who we really are. You are enough, but can still grow. Have you ever felt like you had to be perfect to be worthy? Or that if you're good enough right now, there's no reason to change? Here's the thing. These two ideas aren't opposites. They actually live together, like two sides of the same coin. The gentle truth is, you are enough right now. Your worth isn't something you earn later. It's not tied to grades, popularity, or what you achieve. You have value simply because you exist. But here's the other part. Being enough doesn't mean you stop trying. It means you can still grow. You can always learn more, become kinder, understand things differently. Think about people for hundreds of years. Wise thinkers from ancient Greece to modern times talked about this balance. They knew we were flawed, yet special. The philosopher Aristotle long ago believed in flourishing. He thought we should try to become our best selves, like a seed becoming a strong tree. But he also understood that the seed, just as it is, has all the potential it needs. It's already complete in its own way, even before it sprouts. Consider a young tree in your backyard. It's a tree. It gives shade, makes oxygen. It is enough, just being a tree. But does it stop there? No. It keeps reaching for the sun. Its roots grow deeper. Its branches spread wider. It doesn't become a different kind of plant. It becomes a more developed version of itself. You are like that tree. You are already whole. But you can still push past your limits, learn new things, or grow stronger in your mind or heart. So, accepting yourself for who you are right now is not about being stuck. It's about having a strong, steady place to stand from. And from that place, you can gently, patiently, and bravely keep reaching for your own sun. You are enough. Always. And you are always becoming more. This is a journey, not a finish line. And that's why it matters. You have value today, and every day you have the chance to add to it. Not because you lack something, but because you are alive. Being quiet can be powerful. Have you ever felt like you need to make noise to be important? Maybe in class or with friends? Here's a harsh truth that might surprise you. Being quiet can be one say. It's about a different kind of strength, one that grows from within. Think about it. When the world is loud, when everyone is talking, it's hard to truly hear anything. But when you choose quiet, you open up space. You start to listen, not just to the sounds around you, but to your own thoughts. It's like a still pool of water, reflecting the sky clearly, instead of a choppy ocean. This calm lets you see things more clearly. For a long time, people who truly thought deeply about life understood this. Ancient wisdom from different cultures often pointed to silence as a path to understanding. They didn't see quiet as empty, but as full of potential. It's a place where real learning happens, where wisdom can slowly grow, like a seed underground. Here's how it works in your daily life. Imagine your phone or tablet. When is it most powerful? After it's been quietly charging, right? It might sit there, not making a sound, just gathering energy. That quiet time is when it prepares to do amazing things. Your mind and spirit are a bit like that battery. When you're quiet, you're not empty. You're actually charging up. You're taking in information, processing feelings, and building your inner resources. So, when you take time to be quiet, to truly listen, or just to think, you're not missing out. You're actually gaining a quiet power. You learn to observe, to understand yourself better, and to see the world with a deeper kind of knowing. This can help you build real strength, a calm confidence that doesn't need to be loud to be heard. It's the kind of power that lets you move through the world with purpose, even when no one is watching. Not everything needs a response. Have you ever felt that strong urge to reply, to correct someone, defend yourself, or just have the last word? It's a natural feeling, like an itch. But here's a quiet truth. Not everything needs a response. Imagine if every thought or comment required you to speak. It would be overwhelming, right? Sometimes the most powerful thing is simply nothing. Let a moment pass. Let a comment hang in the air. It's about choosing your peace over needing to prove a point. Ancient thinkers across cultures understood this. Wisdom wasn't always in speaking, but often in listening and holding back. Think of a deep, calm lake. It doesn't ripple every time a small stone drops. It just stays still, reflecting the sky. Responding to everything can drain your spirit, making you react instead of acting with purpose. Here's an example. Picture a group chat. Someone says something annoying, or you disagree. Your fingers might itch to type a reply or a clever comeback. But what if you just didn't? What if you read it, understood it, and just put your phone down? The world keeps turning. Often the best response is no response.
Problems or letting people treat you poorly, it's about picking your battles. Your silence can be a shield, protecting your calm. It can be a deep breath in a noisy world. And sometimes it's the most honest, true answer you can give, to simply be without reacting to every single noise. The afternoon, you choose your own attitude. Have you ever wondered why two people can go through almost the exact same tough situation, but one seems to bounce back while the other stays sad or angry? It's a strange thing to think about, isn't it? Here's the truth that's often hard to hear. Much of how we feel inside, our attitude, is actually a choice we make. This isn't to say bad things don't hurt. Of course they do. But after that first punch to the gut, the way we decide to carry that feeling, or how we let it shape our next steps, that's often up to us. Long, long ago, even ancient thinkers knew this. They spoke about how while we can't always control what happens outside of us, like the weather or what someone else says, we absolutely can control what happens inside. They believed true freedom came from mastering your own inner world, your thoughts, your reactions. It's a powerful idea. Think of your mind like a lens on a camera. When you look at the world through this lens, what you see can change. If you have a gloomy, dark lens on, everything will appear dim and hopeless, even if the sun is shining. But if you try to adjust that lens, if you choose a brighter view, suddenly things don't look so bad. Maybe that cloudy day just means it's perfect for reading indoors. Maybe that mistake isn't a failure, but a chance to learn something important. It's not about pretending problems don't exist. It's about deciding how much power those problems get over your peace. So here's what it comes down to. Your attitude is not just something that happens to you. It's like a quiet strength you carry, a kind of steering wheel for your inner self. You can choose to steer towards a path of quiet determination, even when things are messy. And that, in itself, is a truly remarkable kind of freedom.